Back to the Jake's Collision Repair countdown.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome into another KDSJ Sports broadcast as we get set for our high school volleyball match of the week, this time on a Tuesday night, featuring Class AA teams here in the final week of the regular season as the Rapid City Stevens Raiders visit the Spearfish Spartans right here on KDSJ Sports tonight. And welcome into our countdown to first serve, I guess it would be tonight, as we're in volleyball mode here on this Tuesday night. Thanks for joining us here on KDSJ 980 AM, 103.5 FM, KDSJ980.com, as well as on the video side of things through KDSJ-TV on our YouTube channel and Facebook Live. Each and every week through this fall sports season, we brought you at least one high school volleyball match of the week. Tonight, we're getting things started here on this Tuesday with the winding down the regular season already here in early November, and it is Rapid City Stevens coming in with a record of 21-13 as they take on the Spearfish Spartans 22-8. If that sounds like a pretty close record, that would be the case, not only with wins and losses, but also the seeding points, and a lot on the line, especially tonight for the Spearfish Spartans if they want to continue to try to have a homestand.
Yeah, like you said, Cody, this almost feels like a playoff game in itself. Yeah, it's still in the regular season, but Spearfish sitting in the 8th spot in the playoff and the power points. You need to be in the top 8 in the class in order to host, and Spearfish is right on that bubble. They are looking to try to improve. Meanwhile, Rapid City Stevens, they're on the outside looking in to host a playoff game, especially from West River teams. As everyone knows, driving a bus ride over to the east side of the state can be long, it can be enduring, and it's a challenge in itself. So the opportunity to host a playoff game here at home, critical for both teams.
Spearfish Spartans come in 22-8, right there at the number 8 seed, so on the bubble. They'll get into the playoffs next week, but it's a big difference from hosting a game to going on the road. And wherever you go on the road, it's going to be quite the road trip next Tuesday or next Thursday night for that SoDak 16. Meanwhile, Rapid City Stevens, they still have 3 games left in the regular season, so they're trying to build up their resume for a postseason run as Rapid City Stevens Raiders under first-year head coach Lindsay Montague. We'll hear more about her in the pregame show here. Shelby Richards, head coach of the Spearfish Spartans in her 3rd season as Rapid City Stevens. Their last game was a week ago tonight when they took on Sturgis over in Rapid City. They swept the Sturgis Scoopers 3-0, 25-11, 25-20, and 25-20. That was their 21st win of the season for the Raiders. They have already played 34 matches, so this is match number 35 with 3 more to go here in the regular season. Spearfish Spartans will hear from head coach Shelby Richards as well here in the pregame show. And our Laying the Foundation segment is coming up right here on KDSJ Sports. Our countdown to first serve being brought to you tonight by Jake's Collision Repair, the Black Hills home team for collision repairs at 4415 East Colorado Boulevard in Spearfish and off exit 32 at Junction Avenue in Sturgis. Our countdown to first serve is not going to be a 7 o'clock start because it's already 7:04, and we're going into the 3rd and final set of the JV game. So then they'll have about 15-20 minutes in between the JV and varsity. So stay tuned for all that right here on KDSJ Sports. Again, I'm Cody Oliver. Clayson Davis is back with us tonight on the KDSJ-TV side of things. And while we have some time, tell us a little bit more about what they can check out on KDSJ-TV tonight.
No, absolutely, Cody, right here on KDSJ-TV. No, it's better than listening to the game. You can actually listen and watch the game themselves. It's crazy, isn't it? But anyway, here on KDSJ-TV, something new this season here with our KDSJ Sports package. But you can not only just listen to the game, you can also listen to Cody and I do the game on the radio, and you'll hear the exact same audio coming over our broadcast as well. As we just finished up football, followed the Spearfish Spartans this fall season. Watch them put on a great season, their best season since 2016 record-wise. And you can also rewatch all of those volleyball games on our KDSJ-TV YouTube page. Just go to the live tab, and you can rewatch all 10 contests from the Spearfish Spartans this fall. And you can do the same thing with our volleyball contest. We've been driving all over for volleyball. I'm making a few trips up to Belfouche, following the Spearfish Spartans, of course, doing a few games of Sturgis, Lee Deadwood, even been up to Newell a few times. And it's only going to get even more crazy as we approach the playoffs, not just in Class AA, but in Class A and Class B as well. We have it all with you on KDSJ Radio and on KDSJ-TV. And, of course, coming up tomorrow, we have a little bit of an early start. We'll have our From the Bench podcast. We will start shifting into the basketball mode as we'll sit down with Black Hills State University head coach Ryan Thompson tomorrow. That set to start at around 11:15 in the morning. Again, our From the Bench podcast here on KDSJ Radio and KDSJ-TV. And be looking forward to that here on Facebook and on YouTube.
Coach Thompson's Yellow Jackets heading down to Texas this weekend. We'll, of course, have their games over on the KDSJ radio side of the platform. Once again, that's Clayson Davis. I'm Cody Oliver. We'll have our Laying the Foundation segment coming up next, live from the Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine broadcast booth here in Spearfish. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Has built their reputation by offering the highest quality, guaranteed repairs in the area. Satisfied customers returned again and again for everything from collision repair to custom paint, glass and windshield, and the best hail repair in the region. They're preferred by most insurance companies and work with all of them. Jake's Collision Repair of Spearfish and Sturgis. Give them a Google today for the best repair on your vehicle, guaranteed.
At Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, we are here to help you make your comeback. Our team is standing by to diagnose and treat your injury with some of the most advanced treatment options available and same-day appointments. Monument Health practitioners work closely with our therapists and physicians in communities throughout the Black Hills, with locations in Rapid City and Spearfish. Visit monument.health/orthopedics for more information. That's monument.health/orthopedics for more information.
You see them everywhere. That's because Heinzerling Concrete of Spearfish is the most trusted name for everything from driveways, sidewalks, decorative stamp patios, and of course, foundations. Heinzerling Concrete is proud to support the activities that help our area youth build their foundation for future success. Whatever the job, Heinzerling Concrete is the name you can trust. Google Heinzerling Concrete in Spearfish or call 210-2320.
Beef Logic, Inc. is proud to sponsor South Dakota's high school and collegiate athletes this season as they work alongside their partners at the South Dakota Beef Industry Council to deliver the Build Your Base Sports Nutrition Program at local high schools and colleges around the state and the country. Are you looking for a simple, easy-to-follow program that can help you and your family optimize performance both on and off the field of play? Check out buildyourbase.org and learn why beef continues to be the premier protein for athletic performance and recovery.
I'm Cody Oliver along with Clayson Davis. We're here at the Spearfish High School for our high school volleyball match of the week, featuring Class AA teams as the Spearfish Lady Spartans JV squad has just got a win here in 3 sets. They play the best out of 3 and win all 3 sets, and Spearfish able to get the wins. We'll see if that carries over to the varsity squad tonight. As our broadcast booth once again being brought to you this evening by Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, the official sports medicine provider to several area high schools in the Black Hills and northeastern Wyoming. And we're set up here on the kind of the Spartan side of the court as we look down on things here at the Spearfish High School gym. The Spearfish Spartans will be on this left-hand side of the net with their bench on the other side of the floor. And we're up here in our KDSJ Sports broadcasting booth with all the cameras, audio. Look at that picture from KDSJ-TV of the upper deck on the other side. And we have a bird's eye view of all the action between the Stevens Raiders and the Spearfish Spartans tonight. And it's all being brought to you by Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Now for our Laying the Foundation segment, we'll get a little scouting report on the visiting team, the Rapid City Stevens Raiders, with a record of 21-13. Heinzerling Concrete brings us our Laying the Foundation. Here's Clayson Davis.
Yes, thank you, Cody. Time to lay the foundation to this matchup, brought to you by Heinzerling Concrete. You can give them a call at 210-2320. And we'll take a quick look at the Rapid City Stevens Raiders, again under first-year head coach, and that is Lindsay Montague. I was able to sit down and talk with her earlier today, actually tonight. Again, 21-13 record, a 10th in the power points. A relatively young team, not that many seniors on this year's squad. In fact, one of the seniors, Cecilia Sheen, she is actually out. She was out for the season, so she was not able to really play much this season. But head coach Montague says that there's a lot of juniors stepping up this year's team, a lot of sophomores from last year that didn't have a whole lot of playing experience. Well, they got a lot of playing experience and then some. as they were able to work hard. They were able to slowly gel together throughout the year. As she said, there's still some times where they struggle with communication and playing together as a team, but overall, they work really hard, and one thing that they love to pride themselves on, they are mentally tough and strong. As some of their star players, as she pointed out to me, that include the junior Macy Davis, a defensive specialist. She, as head coach Montague said, she is absolutely incredible on the defensive side of the ball, so look for her to make some plays in the backcourt, as well as the senior libero Sydney Lawton. She has been able to step up in a leadership role this season as well. From the attacking side, it all starts and ends with number 10, Brianna Brewer, the outside hitter senior. As Coach Richards, as you'll hear later on today, she is very worried about the outside hitters for Stevens. As you see a lot of these Class AA teams from the east side of the state, they like to hit to their middles, not Rapid City Stevens. They will go early and often to the outside, and they can hit the ball really well. They see the court very well. They're able to find holes no matter what block or defensive setup you have. And again, everything runs through their setter, number 11, Aspen Montague. Assuming there's probably some relation there between the head coach and the setter. The quarterback of the offense for Rapid City is Stevens. And so far, you couldn't really ask for a much better first year for head coach Montague. She says they like to embrace that underdog mentality when facing these Class AA programs.
And that is our scouting report on the visiting team, the Rapid City Stevens Raiders. They can still do some damage here this week as they have 3 games left in the regular season as they try to move up the rankings in Class AA and play maybe a little bit of spoiler tonight against the Spearfish Spartans, who are ranked number 8 in the state, right on the bubble. As of right now, they would host a SoDak 16 game on November 14th, but they could slip if they lose tonight and or lose on Thursday against the Douglas Patriots. The Spearfish Spartans are led by Adeline Bowman with the kills. Of course, Callie Reiners as the quarterback on the team, as she is the setter and with all those assists. But there's more girls that come into play, as we'll hear from Shelby Richards, the head coach of the Spearfish Spartans, who are 22-8. Clayson, anything you want to say before we hear from Coach Richards?
Real quick, this talking about how big of a game this is for Spearfish as far as a must-win opportunity. Of course, all you have left for Spearfish on the schedule is Douglas, so there won't be a lot of points there if you win or even if you lose. But for Rapid City Stevens, this is a must-win game because their schedule here at the ending of this week, it does not get any easier. You have to, at least you're at home, but you have 2 top 5 teams really rolling in with Sioux Falls, I would say 1 top 6 team, and then a team that always plays everyone close in Sioux Falls Lincoln. But you got Sioux Falls Washington and Sioux Falls Lincoln rolling in the town here at the end of this week. So really this is a must-win game for Stevens if you want to still hold out hope for hosting a SoDak 16 game, in which, again, if having an East River team drive over about 8+ hours to the west side of the state, a definite advantage for the home team.
Again, it's the Spearfish Spartans hosting the Rapid City Stevens Raiders. 2 Class AA teams doing battle in our high school volleyball match of the week. Live from the Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine broadcast booth, we'll be back with head coach Shelby Richards of the Spearfish Spartans in 30 seconds right here on KDSJ Sports.
You just got a quote from a company and are now being billed for not choosing them. Many contracts have what's referred to as a contingency agreement. These typically state that if you don't go with them, you, after insurance has approved the repair work, will be charged a percentage of the job they quoted. Ask up front if they charge to provide an estimate. Never sign anything that you haven't fully read or understand. If you have any questions, reach out to the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division at 800-300-1986.
To the Jake's Collision Repair countdown to first serve, I am joined again by head coach of the Spearfish Lady Spartans, Shelby Richards, here to lay the foundation to this matchup, brought to you by Hydralink Concrete. Anyway, Coach Richards, thank you for sitting down with us and talking about this matchup.
Absolutely.
So you guys are still in pursuit for a top 8 seed to host a SoDak 16 game here with the postseason. You guys are sitting in that 8th spot right now in the PowerPoint, so just on the bubble. How has the team been treating all this pressure with the end of this regular season going into the SoDak 16 coming up here next week?
I'm going to be honest with you, we haven't even talked about it. It's kind of one of those things that I know the girls are watching it they're talking about it, and I don't want to add any extra stress or pressure to them. So we just kind of been doing everything that we've done all season, just kind of preparing for the next game and just one day at a time. And we know what's on the line, and we have an idea what we have to do this week to kind of make sure we're in that spot, but just one game at a time and just focus on our side for sure.
You guys end the season with a lot of these West River AA schools. You just got done playing Rapid City Central. You have Stevens and Douglas to end the regular season. And before that, with the East-West tournament, you got to have a little bit of a taste of what the teams on the east side of the river will have. So how team responded to playing all of these Class AA teams to end the regular season?
Very well. I'm very impressed with how they've responded kind of coming out of that A season, which we had talked about. Our East versus West weekend, we were hoping to come out with one more win. That Brandon Valley game was a little rough for anybody that watched. We just kind of mentally had a leg there. Our skills definitely would have kept us in the game, but the mental part, we just kind of weren't there the entire match. So we learned from it. We came back. We played great against Central. We know that these teams are pretty equal to us, so we've got to make sure that we stay true to who we are. Stevens tonight is going to be a little bit quicker. They remind me of Brandon Valley in a sense that they want to push the fast offense. So we worked a little bit on our blocking responsibilities and just making sure that we play clean on our side and still continue with our next ball mentality.
Awesome as Coach Richard joins us with our Laying the Foundation segment brought to you by Heiserling Concrete. Looking forward to the postseason, what needs to improve with your volleyball team to get ready for the postseason that'll be coming up here next week?
Honestly, I truly believe our skills are where they need to be. We continue to work on different shots with our hitters. Defensively, we're really just kind of locking in on our eye work. We were actually talking yesterday in practice that a lot of people don't truly understand the depth and all the pieces that go into volleyball. So we've really just kind of dove into the little things, the eye work, making sure we're making adjustments when our block is late, if our defense is having to dig off net, make sure we're getting back in our transition. So we've just been really focusing on all the little parts of the game and just making sure our skills are advancing, but also we're just staying like very locked in on what we know how to do. Volleyball is a game of momentum also. So we've been really talking about next ball mentality, consecutive points, really have to trust each other that you're moving on, because when someone makes a mistake in volleyball, that's how we score. And that person's already getting down on themselves. So really just kind of lifting them up and knowing they're going to better that next ball has kind of been our big conversation going into this stretch of the season. It's pretty exciting. It's been a lot of fun. But again, we've kind of just really focused on next step, and then we'll worry about next week when it gets here.
As you go into tonight's matchup with Rapid City Stevens, first of all, how does the injury report look like for your volleyball team?
We're healthy. We're hanging in there. We've been very blessed this season. We just got to keep pushing through, give kudos to our strength and conditioning coach too. Definitely makes the difference with some of those injury prevention stretches and workouts he does. So we're healthy. We're ready to rock and roll. I think it's going to be a great matchup again for all levels tonight, and I'm excited to bring it home crowded.
As you welcome Rapid City Stevens into Spearfish here tonight, you guys 22 wins on the season. Meanwhile, Stevens right behind you guys with 21 wins. They're currently in the 10th spot, so on the outside looking in, because I know they would really want to host a playoff game themselves. What does Stevens bring to the table that you guys need to prepare for tonight?
Just their quicker offense that they really kind of try to push their tempo. We got to watch them a little bit at the East versus West, and then they're a little bit outside heavy, which we see a lot in our gyms. So just making sure that we are staying on our responsibility blocking, getting touches to help our defense out. It's going to be a fun game. Like you kind of said, we both know where we're sitting in the standings. And this is a huge week for both of us. I know we play Tuesday, Thursday, and then we have to play the waiting game, because Stevens and Central and some other teams play Friday, Saturday. So we truly won't know how these standings are going to play out until Saturday night. So I think we're all going to be glued to our phones trying to figure out who's going to go where. Because if you look at the standings, we're so close within each other. I think Brandon Valley is still sitting in the 9th seed right now. And it's a little different, as you know, or if people aren't aware of the standings in volleyball. There's so many more games going on than football, where you have your 8 and there's a little less teams to track, but it's really hard to predict how everything is going to pan out just because there is so much volleyball left. So you really just have to focus on doing what you can as a team and getting your job to secure that spot.
Awesome. And finally, Coach, what are your keys to a win tonight versus Rapid City Stevens?
We have to stay locked in on our serve receive. It is always the passing game, no matter what level of volleyball you're playing. So we want to pass the 2.0 for sure. 2.2 would be great on serve receive. That keeps us in system. And we just got to play scrappy. It's really annoying when the other team won't let the ball drop. So we just got to play scrappy, good passes. Hitters got to change up their shots a little bit. But the biggest thing is I just tell these kids, give 100%, have fun, and always compete.
Awesome. Well, that's all I have, Coach Richards, and good luck tonight.
Perfect. Thank you.
That was head Spearfish volleyball coach Shelby Richards. When we come back from this short break, we'll look at our matchup menu brought to you by South Dakota Beef Logic. That's all coming up, a part of our Jake's Collision Repair countdown to first serve here on KDSJ.
Throws in your direction, Dana Dental Arts and Spearfish reminds you to make you and your family's dental health a top priority. Putting off small problems now can lead to big ones later. We are small enough to feel like family, but big enough to bring you the latest technology. Before your lives get too hectic with school, sports, and other extracurricular activities, schedule a comprehensive exam now. We love our patients. Celebrating 50 years of dentistry in Spearfish.
Let our family care for your family.
Whether you've lived here for years or if you're new to town, everyone wants to know the best place to buy a quality pre-owned car, truck, and SUV, or where to go to have your current ride kept in shape. Brandon Kemp here from Superior Auto Solutions in Spearfish. Need new tires? We got them, all major brands. Your brakes squeaking, or do you just hear something that's not quite right? We can help. Or maybe you're looking to upgrade to something a little more suitable. Well, you came to the right place. Superior Auto Solutions on Colorado Boulevard in Spearfish, or find us online at superiorautost.com.
Thanks to Clayson Davis for bringing us our Heiserling Concrete Laying the Foundation segment, brought to you by Heiserling Concrete. Give them a call at 605-210-2320, as that's part of our countdown to first serve in our pregame show, being brought to you by Jake's Collision Repair, as we're getting set for the first serve here of this one at around 7:30 p.m. tonight, as we run about a half hour behind schedule, getting ready for this varsity match between the Rapid City Stevens Raiders and the Spearfish Spartans. Let's have a look at this week's volleyball polls out by the media. This is the final week of the regular season for Class AA. Meanwhile, Class A and Class B are getting into the postseason this week. For Class AA, the number one team all year long has been the undefeated Harrisburg Tigers. They're 25-0 in the season. They do have a top 5 matchup tonight as they make the road trip up to Watertown. O'Gorman is number 2 in the state. Then it's Sioux Falls Jefferson, Watertown, and Sioux Falls Washington. Spearfish would be there at about number 8 in the state with a record of 22-8. And they are just a couple of spots ahead of Rapid City Stevens. But as we heard in the last segment, anything can happen here this week between about seeds number 7 all the way down to 12. And Harrisburg, again, is the number 1 team in the state. Over to Class A as they get into their regionals this week. The number 1 team is Dakota Valley. Then it's Dell Rapids, Sioux Falls Christian, Miller, Baltic. And the number 7th ranked team would be the Hill City Rangers, as they are starting out their region tournament this week. They won the Black Hills Conference regular season title, and now they are number 1 seed in Region 8A. For Class B, number 1 team is still Chester area. They won the state title last year. Then it's Warner, Hitchcock-Tulare, Burke, and Northwestern. Cadoke area, one of our best teams here, West River. They are about 7 in the media poll, 4th in the PowerPoints. They are the number 1 seed in Region 7B tournament that they begin action tonight. And the Faith Lady Longhorns, not too bad. They're 28-5 on the season. They've won the Little Moro Conference title, and they are the number 1 seed in Region 8B as they begin action tonight in their postseason tournament. That is our latest volleyball polls, and that'll be the last volleyball poll that we have for the 2024 season. Now it's our matchup menu being brought to you by Beef Logic and the South Dakota Beef Industry Council. As we dive into this matchup, Spearfish hosting Rapid City Stevens tonight. Spearfish number 8 in the state, Rapid City Stevens number 10. Spearfish is 22-8 on the season, while Rapid City Stevens is 21-13, just a game back. And when it comes to seeding points, Spearfish at 41.6, Rapid City Stevens at 40.9, so not much difference there. Spearfish on their home court this season, they are 11-3. Remember, they hosted that East Quest Classic, so that counts. And then against teams above 500, which Rapid City Stevens would be, Spearfish is 4-5. For Rapid City Stevens, They are 2-8 on the road this year, so not very good. They didn't have to make a long road trip here to Spearfish tonight, but in the visitors' territory and against teams above 500, they're 2-10. So they don't play very well against teams on the road and the teams that are better than 500. What else do we have tonight for our matchup menu? We go to the Class AA matchups tonight. Yankton is at Brookings. Sturgis is at Douglas. That'll be the final game of the season for the Sturgis Scoopers. Number 2, O'Gorman is at Huron. Brandon Valley heads to Mitchell. Pierre is at number 3, Sioux Falls Jefferson. Aberdeen Central is at Sioux Falls Roosevelt. We have Rapid City Stevens at Spearfish tonight here on KDSJ Sports. Be sure you can subscribe over on KDSJ-TV through YouTube and Facebook Live to watch the game tonight. And the top 5 matchup also number 1 Harrisburg against number 4 Watertown. Both of these teams were here in Spearfish a couple weeks ago for that East-West Classic, and we got to see those two teams here. There's also the playoffs beginning tonight for Region 8A. Hot Springs is at Rapid City Christian. Lee Deadwood goes to St. Thomas More. Belfouche is at Custer. And I'm thinking most of those matches are probably getting close to being done as they started at 6 o'clock Mountain Time. Hill City has a first-round bye in Region 8A as they await the winner of Rapid City Christian and Hot Springs. Region 8B tonight, a couple games up in Faith as the Faith Lady Longhorns host McLaughlin. Newell is taking on Timberlake in Faith tonight. And then up in Buffalo at the Hardin County Gymnasium, Hardin County Lady Ranchers, the number 2 seed, they are hosting McIntosh, and then it's Dupree against Lemon in Buffalo. And in Region 7B tonight, 2 games in Kadoka as the number 1 seed Kadoka area Cougars host Crazy Horse. Then there's Wall taking on Jones County, also in Kadoka. The Bennett County Warriors is the number 2 seed in Region 7B. They are hosting Phillip down in Martin tonight, and Edgemont takes on White River in Martin as well as a doubleheader there in Region 7B. So that is our matchup menu being brought to you by Beef Logic. Plenty of games tonight across the area we'll be keeping an eye on the Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard.
Yeah, it's really getting to the bare bones of the end of the regular season, as we got a lot of playoff games going on here in the smaller schools, and here in a little over a week we'll see where the SoDak 16 will end up for Class AA.
As we heard about both teams tonight, the keys for the Rapid City Stevens Raiders use that outside hitter, as well as Wathen and Brewer going to be a couple of their main girls for the Spearfish Spartans. Serve, receive, and be scrappy on their home court tonight. We'll be back with your starting lineups and the opening serve in 2 minutes on KDSJ Sports.
Please join in the quality food at a fair price. That's what you expect, and that's what you'll get at the Millstone Family Restaurant in Spearfish. Perfect for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or to grab a bite to eat before or after the game. Choose from daily specials, and a trip to the fresh soup and salad bar is always a hit. Plus, the Millstone can accommodate larger groups, like buses or your next meeting in their private party room. So, if it's just you and a friend or the whole team, get a great meal at a great price. The Millstone Family Restaurant in Spearfish.
American Colloid, a minerals technologies company, is not only part of the community we live in, they are the community. Bentonite clay, mined right here in our own backyard near Belfouche in Colony, Wyoming, provides a contributing factor to this area's economic success. This unique product has a huge range of uses, from the main component in cat litter to health and beauty products, pharmaceuticals, and more. It's all produced right here in all of our community. American Colloid Company, working together, winning together.
Today are complicated and expensive. The professionals at Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Spearfish are here to guide you through everything automotive. From cars, trucks, and SUVs to parts and repairs, Junix takes the confusion out of automobile ownership. Enjoy the ride with Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Family owned since 1931 on West Jackson in Spearfish.
And welcome back to the Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine broadcast booth as we get set for our high school volleyball match of the week. It is the Rapid City Stevens Raiders and the Spearfish Spartans. Let's head on over to Clayson Davis and have our starting lineups tonight being brought to you by Dana Dental Arts.
Yes, thank you, Cody. Time to look at our starting lineups. First, we'll start off with the Rapid City Stevens Lady Raiders. Starting for the Lady Raiders tonight, our defensive specialist, Macy Davis, a junior. Number 2, Reagan Broderick, a middle hitter, a sophomore. Number 3, the libero, that'll be Sydney Waffen. She's a senior libero. Addison Benson gets a start as well, a sophomore for the Stevens. Avery Krause, a defensive specialist. She's a junior, wearing number 5. Number 10, their main attacker, that is Brianna Brewer, an outside hitter, a senior. And number 11 is Aspen Montague, the setter, and the quarterback for the Rapid City Stevens Raiders. Meanwhile, we'll go over to Spearfish. Their starting lineup, so nothing else is really a change. Outside hitter Adeline Bowman leads the team in kills. Callie Reiner's the always great and talented setter, junior for Spearfish, wearing number 4. Number 8 is Faith Hoppin, defensive specialist, only 5'4", plays a lot bigger than what she is. Number 11, Avery Kirk, the do-it-all senior, pretty much is in the top 3 in all team statistics. Also the middle hitter who leads the team in blocks and in aces, that is Tabitha Zanstra, the junior. And then outside hitter Addison Keller, a sophomore, has really stepped up this season, and always the libero leads the team in digs. That is Brooklyn Yackley, and we would see this. We have a number 24 coming in for for Spearfish. That is Maya Durdal. As talking with head coach Richards, we would see Durdal in the rotation early this contest, as she will check in right away, and we are getting ready to go.
Here we go, Rapid City Stevens Raiders under head coach Lindsay Montague, and her first year as head coach. Spearfish Spartans under third-year head coach Shelby Richards, as we get underway here at 7:32 p.m. Again, about a half hour behind schedule tonight, as Rapid City Stevens has the serve to begin things, but Spearfish has the first point as they get it, and it's 1-0 Spartans to begin things, as Callie Reiners will go back and serve here for Spearfish. The jump serve gets across the net, then Rapid City Stevens on the serve receive. They go from that outside hitter position, they get it over. Now here comes Spearfish, they get it to Keller. Rapid City Stevens able to get it over in 3. Here's the set by Reiners, and the attack, and it's down, and a point for Adeline Bowman. As Clayson said, she leads the team in kills. The outside hitter slash middle hitter, a 5'6" junior, following in her sister's footsteps from last year, as Mariah Bowman graduated now for Spearfish. And Adeline Bowman pick it up right there, and then a serve and an ace by the Spearfish Spartans, Callie Reiners. So using some of that home court advantage. Good student section on crowd tonight, and it is 3-0 Spartans.
Yeah, so far the fast start that Rapid City Stevens needs to get, that's not the case with a 3-0 run for Spearfish to start this first set, see if they can rebound.
Here's the attack. It goes long by Faith Hoffman. So point here for the Stevens Raiders, their first point of the night. It is the best of 5 sets. We are in set number 1. 3-1 Spartans here on their home court as Stevens serves from the right-hand side of the net. Here comes the attack, that time by Adeline Bowman, and it goes down for a point for the Spartans.
Yeah, right now Rapid City Stevens, they're just out of rhythm right now, not able to dig the ball up really well, especially on the serve receive. That's what Spearfish says is the key to their game, and Stevens so far is having a hard time receiving that serve and then setting up the offense.
Here comes the Raiders with the attack, goes to the back row for Spearfish. Now Spearfish, there's the set by Reiners, over to Keller. It's blocked there at the net by the Raiders. Here comes the attack by Keller again from the front row and the right side, or the left side, excuse me. This will be a point for the Raiders as they put it down, and it's now 4-2 in favor of Spearfish. As we want to say thanks to Jake's Collision Repair right here in Spearfish over on Colorado Boulevard, 4415 East Colorado Boulevard, as they brought us our pregame show. And here is the attack by Spearfish. A nice block by the Stevens Raiders from that right side of the net. Came up with the double block and able to get a point to make it 4-3.
Yeah, now Stevens, they're starting to get a little bit of a rhythm. Being able to set up their block, that's what they need to do against Spearfish. Spearfish, they don't have as tall of athletes But it's really hard to get any offense going when you're having a hard time serving, as this time Stevens will serve into the net.
Spearfish tallest girls, Caitlin Wheatland, she comes in off the bench at 6'1". Tabby Zanstra is there at 5'10", as we see Yankley to serve here for Spearfish. Spartans up by 2, 5-3. And Yankley goes with the dig. Now here comes Stevens on the attack from the middle. Hits the top of the net, comes over to the Spearfish side. Now here's the attack. That time we'll get it back over to Spearfish. Good block again by Stevens Raiders, setting that double block up on the right side of the net. If you're facing into the net, here is a point for Spearfish. Being right there was Tabby Zanstra for the Spartans, ready to go up for another block if she needed to, but that one hit the net and dropped down on the Raiders side.
Yeah, Zanstra leads the team in blocks for Spearfish. She's came up huge here at the ending of the season. And right now, Rapid City Stevens trying to feed their main outside hitter in Brianna Brewer, and Spearfish is ready for her.
Here is Yankley with the dig. Then we got Reiners back over to Kirk. Now to the Stevens side. Steve's trying to put it down, and that will be out of bounds, says the line judge. A point for the Spearfish Spartans, as Rapid City Stevens in the blue road uniforms, except for the libero, who's in white. And then they have the black tights with the white numbers and lettering across the front, with Stevens across the front and the numbers below. Here comes Stevens, and they get it to Spearfish. Spearfish able to send it back over. Now here's the Raiders. Over to Spearfish. Now here comes the attack. That time by Faith Hoffman. Hoffman tries to get the block up there, but just not the size, as we mentioned, at 5'4". Can't really jump over the net, and she wasn't able to get the solid block. Point for Stevens, still 7-4 Spearfish.
And now you see Stevens starting to go to their middle hitter and number 4, Addison Benson, as Spearfish, they struggled versus the middle with those AA teams in the East-West tournament, seeing if Stevens can have similar success.
Goes to the back for Spearfish. Now they send it over. Rapid City Stevens sends it over in 2. Now here's Spearfish on the attack. Here from the near side, it's Faith Hoffman, and it's partially blocked at the net, but a point for Spearfish to make it 8-4 as they double up the Raiders.
Yeah, Faith Hoffman, she's there in that outside, kind of the right side in the rotation, and you really don't see anyone 5'4" in the front row attacking, but Spearfish, they're confident in Faith Hoffman in using her athleticism, even at 5'4".
Stevens Raiders try to go to that outside, and they're going to use that a lot tonight, as this one is hit deep and out of bounds by Spearfish. We want to say thanks to Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. We're set up here at the Monument Health broadcast booth here on the very last row of the bleachers, up here on the opposite side of the benches and the scores table, but a bird's eye view of what's taking place down on the floor. As we look at the Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard, it's 8-6 Spartans. Stevens back with the serve.
Yeah, now Stevens, they're able to get their block set up at that time by Sydney Wathen. And now she's starting to get the defense rolling for Rapid City Stevens.
Here's the attack by Stevens. It's dug up that time by Yankley. Here's the set by Reiners. They go over to Kirk. Kirk sends it across, and the Raiders are able to dig it up, but then they hit it into the net. That's a hitting error on the Raiders, and a point for Spearfish. 9-6 as Kirk goes back to serve.
And it all started with that change of pace shot, that rolling shot from Avery Kirk. It got just Stevens out of rhythm, and then they weren't able to send it over to the net.
And this one will hit the top of the net on the serve, and then Rapid City Stevens unable to serve receive, and a point for Spearfish. Again, the keys for Stevens tonight is use that outside hitter. It's early on, but we'll see how much they can get accomplished with using Brewer with that outside hitter position. That's Brianna Brewer, one of their seniors. And then Sydney Wathen as their libero, outside hitter and defensive specialist. See one of just 2 seniors on the roster. So Brewer and Wathen, your 2 seniors, going to be keys tonight. Spearfish, again, that serve receive, being scrappy and take advantage of the home courts here in Spearfish. As let's see, do we have time for a break, or do we want to go Junix scoreboard?
I'd say let's check out the scoreboard real quick.
Right now it's 10-6 in favor of the Spearfish Spartans here over the Rapid City Stevens Raiders. We have regular season play tonight for Class AA teams, and Class A and Class B are getting into their postseason regional tournaments on this Tuesday, November 5th. as we check in with our different precincts here on election night. What do we have?
Right now, the only score that I have brought in, Custer, they took care of Bellefouche and ended the Lady Bronx season with 3-0, 25-14, 25-11, and then 25-21. Rapid City Christian and Hot Springs, they're going to set 5. It's tied up at 2 apiece, and then in Class B, so far nothing.
Thank you, Clayson Davis over there with KDSJ-TV, taking care of a lot of things behind the scenes. And here's Rapid City Stevens right back at it after the timeout called by the Raiders. Spearfish has it way back row, and they get it across. Now it's time for Rapid City Stevens on the attack. There's Hoffman, now over to Bowman, and this is going to be a point for the Raiders as it goes into the second row of the student section.
Yeah, with Bowman leading the team in kills, they want to serve her early and often, but much as you see throughout volleyball, whoever's your leader in kills probably has quite a few hitting errors as Bowman commits another one there. She does lead the team in hitting errors, but that's just because they've been able to set up to her and use her athleticism a lot.
That one goes off of Yackley. Instead of sending it towards the net, it went off of her hand and all the way to the back wall and bounces off of that. They cleared off most of these walls here at the Spearfish High School gym when they repainted it, so it's very white in here. Here's Rapid City Stevens, and on the attack, they send it across. This will be a point for the Raiders. And I think to cover up some of this white, we're going to need to win some state titles. That's the bottom line there. 10-9, Spearfish Spartans up by 1 here in the first set.
And now you see Stevens really start to get Brewer going. She's been able to find holes. That's a strength for Rapid City Stevens this whole time. This whole season is being able to find holes in the defense and attack them early and often.
Here's Spearfish on their side. It is the left side of the net, and they do just a one-timer across the net. A point for Spearfish, and that will send back Zanstra to serve for Spearfish, the 5'10 junior middle hitter. Tabby goes back to serve, one of the better servers on the team. Comes across to the Raiders. Raiders set it to the front row. Then they tap it over, and it goes out of bounds. Point for Spearfish.
Yeah, I do like the change-up that time by Stevens, especially hitting over to that strong side, setting over to that strong side. They've been able to get some kills. Now going for the tip, get Spearfish to over-pursue, but kind of hard to tip when you get it outside the antenna.
Here's Rapid City Stevens, sends it across. Spearfish ready defensively. Here's the attack by Keller. And now deep into the net. Rapid City Stevens got to make sure you don't touch the net. They didn't. Here's Keller, sends it back across for Spearfish. Rapid City Stevens on the dig. Now with the attack, and it goes deep and out of bounds. Point for Spearfish as they build their lead back up to 4.
Yeah, now they see a Rapid City Stevens trying to get Brewer hitting from the back row now, as Spearfish has done a good job setting up the block on Brewer when she's in the front court. But it's really hard to read a block when you have an attacker coming from the back row, but Spearfish has been able to recover.
And this will be a point here for Spearfish. They've enjoyed home court over the past couple weeks. They hosted the East-West Classic where they got 5 matches in there. And then all games the rest of the regular season, all at home, as they're fighting for a home game for the SoDak 16 next week as well. There is an ace by the Spearfish Spartans. Serving it up is Tabby Zanstra.
Yeah, and Zanstra leads the team in aces as well, a junior. Kind of a lot of all-around volleyball players for Spearfish, all shapes and sizes and heights, as, of course, the good old announcer jinx, as Tabitha has a service error, making it a 15-10 game. But Spearfish having a lot of players that can play throughout all 6 rotations. They don't substitute a lot unless they need to. We saw Maya Durdal early in this contest. We've also seen the likes of Lily Sadowski as well. But Spearfish, when you have your 6 starters and your libero able to really not be able to sub out and have everyone play multiple positions, it makes you really versatile and very deadly on offense.
2 seniors for Spearfish, 2 seniors for Rapid City Stevens. The seniors for the Spartans are their libero, Brooklyn Yackley, and also their outside hitter and middle hitter, Avery Kirk. 16-10, one of the largest leads for Spearfish here in this first set. There's Kirk, and then the Spartans will send it over. I like how Reiners can just makes it look so smooth when she sends it over her shoulder. There is Addison Keller with the attack. Comes over to the Stevens side. The Raiders send it back. There is the dig up by Yackley to keep the volley going. And then Stevens sends it right down the middle of the floor with the kill. Makes it 16-11.
And yeah, that time that was Sydney Wath, and they have her in the libero. She's not wearing the libero jersey tonight. That will be Macy Davis in the white jersey. As Wathen being able to play front row in this contest, maybe a match speed for speed with Spearfish.
And there is, again, the libero tonight. It's going to be Macy Davis. And she's also a defensive specialist, wearing the other colored jersey tonight for the Raiders. 17-11 in favor of Spearfish. We'll have a timeout. I'm not quite sure who took it, but each team gets 2 timeouts per set. It will be taken by the Stevens Raiders. We'll take it with them. We'll be back in 30 seconds on KDSJ Sports.
Whatever the weather, Wolf's Plumbing and Heating keeps you in the comfort zone with expert heating and air conditioning repair or replacement from American Standard Mitsubishi. For over 70 years, Wolf's Plumbing and Heating has delivered quality service to the Northern Hills and Northeast Wyoming. When you need timely, expert service for heating, cooling, or plumbing, call 605-642-5755 or search Wolf's Plumbing and Heating and stay in the comfort zone.
I'm Cody Oliver with you tonight here on KDSJ Sports. Thanks for being along with us. This fall sports season, it has flown by. Already the final week of the regular season for high school AA volleyball. And our match of the week from this Spearfish High School gym as the 21-13 Rapid City Stevens Raiders visit the 22-8 Spearfish Spartans. Match number 31 on the season this year for Spearfish. They'll have one more on Thursday night. Here is Stevens on their side of the net. That would be the right-hand side. This one comes directly down from the balcony. Then Yackley sends it over. Spartans up by 6. And Stevens has used both of their timeouts here in this set. Yackley sends it over. She's a pretty smart volleyball player. Here comes Stevens. Partially blocked there at the net. Now comes back over. There is Hoffman. This one's hit deep. Maybe should have let that one go out of bounds. Here's Keller. Gets it across. Rapid City Stevens now on the attack. Can't quite see some of their numbers from this angle. I have the net in the way. And now Stevens going to go from this outside hitter position back over to Keller. We continue with the volley back and forth. Stevens has a nice setup and they knock it down just off Yackley. Point for the Raiders.
And you see the scrappiness of Spearfish come into play there as Stevens trying to get Brewer back up and running. That's when Stevens can really start to get on their offensive runs whenever Brianna Brewer gets going into the scoring column with the kills. And Spearfish being able to match her blow for blow, but Yackley couldn't quite control that last one.
Raiders within 5, 17-12. And now within 4 as they get the point there to make it 17-13. I'm Cody Oliver with KDSJ Radio and Clayson Davis along with you on KDSJ-TV tonight. Thanks for tuning in, watching, or going on the World Wide Web as Stevens will serve. It is a serve receive here by Spearfish. It's going to be crucial as we go through this match. And here's a point for the Raiders, and this makes it 17-14. So 3 straight points for the Stevens Raiders as they're still alive on that side of the net. Our matchup menu and our other games around the region tonight being brought to you by Beef Logic and the South Dakota Beef Industry Council. There's Keller serving it up. And now here is the Stevens Raiders. They get it over in 3. Nice pass there from Reiners to go over to Keller. And then Reiners dips it down. There's the dig by the Raiders to keep it alive. Here's the attack by Kirk, blocked by the Raiders. Here's another attack by Hoffman. It gets dug up by the Raiders. Good volley, back and forth we go. Stevens with the attack. They go cross court diagonally, and they're going to get the point. And the Raiders are on a roll.
Yeah, 3-0 run right now for the Raiders, and it's all due to number 10, Brianna Brewer. She's been able to get rolling now on the offensive side as she sees the court very well, able to find holes in the defense, and now she is really starting to find a groove as now Stevens, they're back within 2.
Here is Yackley with the dig. Reiners with the set. Gets it across. Now we're going to go with the Stevens Raiders. It's dug up by Yackley, goes into the bench, and unable to save it. It goes out of bounds by the Spearfish Spartans. And now we have ourselves a 1-point game, 17-16. Timeout called by Coach Richards and the Spearfish Spartans as she takes a trip down over to her assistant coaches to talk things over. It's set number 1 and a 1-point game. We'll be back after a 30-second break on KDSJ Sports.
Fisher Sand and Gravel of Spearfish supports community and school athletics. Plus, they support community development with services in and around the Black Hills. Fisher is an aggregate company headquartered in Spearfish with 2 local commercial quarries in Beulah and Newcastle, Wyoming. They sell all sizes of aggregates for commercial and individual projects from a pickup load to thousands of tons. Whatever you need, Fisher Sand and Gravel, proud supporter of all community, college, and high school athletics. Good luck to all teams and athletes competing in today's game.
Back with you on the Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine broadcast booth. We are here at the Spearfish High School gym. Tuesday night, high school volleyball. We have some more volleyball action coming your way. To be determined who's going to be the matchup Thursday night, but most likely sending KDSJ-TV and radio up to Buffalo, South Dakota to be featuring some smaller school volleyball action in Region 8B coming up Thursday night, right here on your sports station. And Avery Kirk gets the point for the Spearfish Spartans, sending that one down with the kill. Back up now to a 2-point lead for Spearfish.
Yeah, as Brianna Brewer has been the catalyst for Rapid City Stevens, who's been the catalyst all season for Spearfish whenever they get into a slump. That's been the senior, the leader, top 3 in pretty much all statistical categories. That is Avery Kirk getting the kill, and now Spearfish see if they can close out this set number 1.
Yankley gets it across. Here's the serve received by Stevens. Partially blocked by Spearfish. Now here's Reiners with the set. Kirk gets it across. Stevens has done good job defensively here in this first set as it goes to the front row. Tapped over that time by Zanstra. Now Rapid City Stevens in their blue and white jerseys. They get that one down and in for a point for the Raiders.
Yeah, back row attack that time by Sydney Wathen, able to just to tap off the net, rolls off awkwardly and falls into the field of play. Just so far a good hit. That was kind of assisted by the hit of the net that time for Stevens, but 2 teams that are evenly matched in the stat book, record-wise, and also in the standings, proving why they are where they are in the state.
18-17, Spearfish up by 1. Here's the serve by the Raiders. And now here is the attack. Comes back over to the Spearfish side. And here's the attack that time by Zanstra. She gets it down and in for a point. We look at Zanstra's stats for the season. She has 106 kills. That's coming into tonight. She also has 45 aces from the service line, so she leads the team in that category. She leads the team in blocks as well with 31 blocks coming into tonight. And digs, Zanstra has 82 digs. Yankley has 460 to lead the team in that category. 19-18, Spearfish with a 1-point advantage, but Stevens trying to tie it up.
And now both teams are really starting to open up the offense. They're not going for tips anymore. They're either going to go around the block or through the block at a high rate of speed offensively.
And here is Stevens. They get the point to tie things up. We've done all levels of volleyball this fall, from Class B, a couple times over in Newell, from Class A up in Lee Deadwood to Class AA. We did the East-West tournament here. There is a whole nother level of speed from even Class A to Class AA. And from east to west even, from what East River schools run to what they do here in the Black Hills. So, but you still have 2 evenly matched teams. As we see on the scoreboard, 20-19, Rapid City Stevens. Maybe this is their first lead of the set.
Yes, as Stevens took their first lead of the set. Now they're able to serve the ball really well after a hit out of bounds at that time by Addison Benson. But Spearfish, they've struggled with a serve receive really the entire season. As head coach Richards said, that is an emphasis for them, and now it's starting to come up big here in this first set.
And you got to get scrappy as they come with the block there. You probably heard that in the background or saw it on KDSJ-TV. Here's Reiners with the assist, and comes over to the Raiders side. They hammer it down. It's a 50-5 ball there at the net, and it's going to go out of bounds. Good job by the Raiders to not touch it. And now it's 21-20 in favor of Stevens with their libero, Macy Davis, back to serve. She gets it across the net. Here's the serve receive. Here's Stevens. Back over to Yackley and the Spartans. Reiners with the set. Here's the attack by Zanstra. They're going with Zanstra a lot more than they are Keller and Kirk here in this first set when it comes to the attacks. Rapid City Stevens able to get it over in 3. There's a block at the net. Point Stevens.
And another good rally from both teams, as at that time just a battle at the net, especially in between setters. Montague and Callie Reiners both going up for the ball, and this time advantage Montague.
As Coach Richards said in the pregame show, everybody's going to make mistakes. You can't let that one mistake get in your head, and pretty soon you give up 3 or 4 points to the other team. That's what's happening right now. Stevens started getting into Spearfish's head. Timeout on the floor taken by Coach Richards and the Spearfish Spartans. They did have like a 6-point lead in this set. Now they find themselves down by 3, 23-20 on the Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard. I'm Cody Oliver as we send it back over to Clayson Davis. Tell us more about what's coming up this week on KDSJ-TV.
Well, tomorrow we have our From the Bench podcast episode with Ryan Thompson. That'll be at around 1:15 in the morning. Really kick off the end of your morning, or if you have an early lunch, not a better way to join us with our From the Bench podcast on YouTube and on Facebook as we sit down with head Black Hills State University men's basketball coach Ryan Thompson as he gives a preview into the season, give us some new faces, and also get a little bit of a personal level with Ryan Thompson that a lot of people might not see. If that's a good thing or not, we'll never know. We'll find out tomorrow with our From the Bench podcast at 11:15.
I think he likes baseball because I see him at Sasquatch games during the summer. So maybe ask him about that. 11:15 a.m. tomorrow morning. That's on our YouTube channel, Facebook Live. That's From the Bench podcast. Clayson Davis as your host. We're back to action here at Rapid City Stevens with the momentum on their side as they get it over. Spearfish is there. And here's the attack. It is partially blocked by Rapid City Stevens. The call at the net will be point Raiders.
Yeah, now set point for the Raiders up to their highest lead of the game as they're trying to get Bowman set up in the middle, but right now that block is following Bowman, and she's been struggling to get kills offensively. Now it's set point for Rapid City Stevens.
Here's the attack, and this one is going to be a point for Spearfish, so they get back in it. They have the side out, and going back to serve is their best server when it comes to aces this season. That's Tabby Zanstra.
As both teams are out of timeouts, if Zanstra can get onto a serving roll, it could be really deadly for the Spartans. And, of course, good old announcer jinx, once I say that, she hits it out of the back of the line, and it's 25-21 after set 1.
That's your final on the Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard. We're not done, as this is a best of 5 tonight, as Rapid City Stevens was down for that first half of the match by about 6 or 7 points at one point, and then they win it by 4. 25-21, they got into the Spartans' head there in the last 6 points or so, and Rapid City Stevens takes set 1. We'll be back for second set action on KDSJ Sports in 1 minute.
For over 10 years, Allied Construction has been a trusted name in the Black Hills, providing top-quality construction services to our local community. We take pride in being a local business with deep roots in the area. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, you can trust us to deliver exceptional results on every project. Our team is dedicated to providing personalized service, ensuring your project gets the attention and expertise it deserves.
Check out their website today. Click alliedconstruction.com or find them on Facebook. It's not one, but 2 great locations in Spearfish to gas up and get what you need on the go. Exit 8 and Exit 14 Speedy Marts offer everything you need so you can get in and get out and get back on the road. Find your favorite snacks and a cold drink, or maybe something fresh from the kitchen or in the cold case. It's all homemade right here. And Exit 8 and Exit 14 offers top-tier fuels from Phillips 66, so you get the most from your transportation. Exit 8 and 14 Speedy Marts in Spearfish. Right off the road, right on the money.
Back here at the Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine broadcast booth. As we are in between the first and second sets, Rapid City Stevens turned it up in the latter half of that first set to win it 25-21. And we want to say thanks to the South Dakota Attorney General's Office, Division of Consumer Protection, our Law on the Court tonight, being brought to you by them. That's the South Dakota Attorney General's Office, Division of Consumer Protection. As we send it on over to Clayson Davis with a checkup on tonight's Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard.
Yeah, let's see if we have some more updates here on our Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard. So I get my scores to actually load. But again, after the end of set one, it was Rapid City Stevens on top of Spearfish, 25-21. It was a battle of runs, of course, as it is always in volleyball. But yeah, we have the scoreboard. Of course, Custer beat Bellefouche 3-0, ending the Bronx season. No update that I've seen from Region 8B. Let's see what they have for Region 7B, as Kadoka took care of Crazy Horse. Oh, check out these scores. 25-2, 25-3, and then 25-1.
Oh.
Ouch. Yeah.
Crazy Horse got to that point by a forfeit in the first round, and it sounded like they kind of forfeited that game too.
Yeah, you know, it's... Whew. You can't win them all. Sometimes you're the bug, sometimes you're the windshield. Also looking at the scoreboard, Bennett County took care of Phillip 3-0, and not by that bad of scores. And see what else we have real quick. Jones County took care of Wall 3-0, Edgemont 3-0 over White River.
Class AA action tonight. Sioux Falls Jefferson, ranked number 3 in the state. They defeated Pierre tonight in straight sets, 3-0 over in Sioux Falls. We're underway, second set. Spearfish has the opening serve. And here's Reiners trying to get a set assist over to Keller. Keller with the attacks. Stevens sends it back over in 2. Now here's Yackley over to, let's see, that was number 8, Faith Hoffman. She hits it long, so that'll be a point for Stevens as they have the first point of this second set after winning the first set 25-21. Diving forward is Yackley, and then into the net, and we're going to say a point here for Spearfish.
As now you see both teams kind of with their Achilles heel on display here early in set one. Spearfish is the serve receive. That's been getting them in trouble. And that time Stevens, just a lack of communication there on the defensive side.
Here is Keller gets it over for Spearfish. She was kind of quiet there in that first set as it was mainly Reiners and Hoffman. We'll see if they get Kirk and Keller more involved here in this second set. As it'll be Rapid City Stevens trying to get it across. They do. Over to the Spearfish side. It glances off one of the speakers up in the balcony. Back over to the Raiders side. Spearfish digs that one up though. They get it to Keller. Keller taps it over. Now here comes the defense of the Rapid City Stevens Raiders. Here's Reiners with the set. Kirk swings and hits that one into the net. A hitting error that time on Spearfish. 2-2 tie.
As both teams trying to make adjustments after set one, set two. Both teams having a hard time trying to get a rhythm offensively and see whoever gets a rhythm first, they could be in for a heyday here in set number 2.
We've gone back and forth. This one will be hit out of bounds here on the near side. As we look down on things, Spearfish is on the left-hand side of the net. Rapid City Stevens on the right. The benches on their same sides as well. And back to serve is Yackley for Spearfish. One of 2 seniors, the libero. She gets it across. And then Spearfish hits this one into the net. So a point for the Spartans. And we'll see if Yackley can reel off a couple here to get Spearfish settled in here in the second set.
As now Stevens a little bit dysfunctional here to start set number 2. As see if they are able to rebound, and not that time as Yackley, a tough serving from the senior, proving to be too difficult for Stevens to receive.
So it was 2-2. Now Spartans up 5-2 now.
As I stated earlier, both teams starting off slow. The first team to really start finding a rhythm would be the one to have the advantage. It's really not just finding a rhythm, but the first team to start slowing down the mistakes. And right now, Stevens has not been able to this set.
Here's Stevens. They were deep into the net, and they send this one to the far side, and that goes out of bounds. So 4 straight points here for the Spearfish Spartans in this Class AA battle on Tuesday night as we welcome you to our Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine broadcast booth. Here comes Stevens. They bring the momentum into the net, almost hit the net, and it's partially blocked by Spearfish and a point by Stevens. So that makes it now 6-3, I believe. Yep, they put the point up. So that stopped a 4-0 slide. Now Stevens gets the point. Here's Spearfish. Here's the attack by Kirk, and that will be a point for Spearfish on that far side of the net. First row, Avery Kirk getting in the groove.
Yeah, I'm with you, Cody. I'm interested to see if they can get Kirk and or Tabitha Zanstra rolling in the rotation offensively, as those have been your heavy hitters. As Stevens, they're able to find pay dirt that time. Courtesy, I believe that was number 4, Addison Benson, the middle hitter.
So 7-4. Stevens now within 3. You're listening to KDSJ Sports at our high school volleyball match of the week here on this Tuesday. And here is Kirk to get it over. It's partially blocked there by Stevens, and it'll be a point for Spearfish. You can check out our KDSJ broadcast schedule for the rest of this week. We have high school volleyball, college women's basketball, college men's basketball, college football. I don't think anybody else around the Black Hills can say they cover all that and probably more right here on KDSJ Sports. Check it out at KDSJ980.com and through KDSJ-TV on YouTube.
Also, might I add, next Monday, we will be streaming on KDSJ-TV the Spearfish Middle School Veterans Program.
And also From the Bench podcast coming up this Wednesday morning with Ryan Thompson, head coach of BHSU men's basketball. And I saw an email come across from the student council for the Spearfish Middle School. They'll be putting on a veterans program. That's a pretty neat thing that they're doing over there. So check that out. Clayson Davis behind the scenes will be covering that. Here is Zanstra on the serve. Hits that one too long.
Zanstra has been struggling from the service line. Not what you want to see with your leading acer there from behind the service line, but she's able to turn around her serves, and it could lead to some offensive runs here for Spearfish here in set number 2. Already down 1-0.
There is Reiners. That goes the opposite way than they intended. Trying to get it over to Keller there on the left of her, and that just came off of her hand wrong. 9-7 Spearfish. Here's the serve by Macy Davis for the Stevens Raiders. Here's Keller. Keller hits this one long. Nice catch over there by the side by Dalton Wademan to protect Mr. Gottlieb's face.
Not bad for a former offensive lineman.
9-8 is the score in favor of Spearfish, and this one by Reiners. Trying to do that quick over the net and hits the top of the net, bounces down.
And now you see Spearfish start to pile on the mistakes to give Rapid City Stevens a little bit of a run and get them back here in this second set.
It's tied up at 2. Spearfish had the lead 5-2. Now it's tied at 9. Here is Keller. She hits this one into the net, and too many hitting errors right now for Spearfish is costing them as the Raiders take their first lead of the set, 10-9.
And I'm interested to see why Spearfish is still serving that way, as they had a little bit of rhythm going with Avery Kirk, and they were trying to get Tabitha Zanstra rolling. As now Spearfish, that was a tough serve to dig up, but it hit off across the top of the net. Now a 2-point lead for Stevens. But they keep setting to that same strong side spot on the left side, not really giving anyone a chance to hit. And now they'll go to the middle to Zanstra, and there it is, a change of rhythm from Zanstra, able to get a point for Spearfish.
I was going to think that Rapid City Stevens was going to find something in the Spearfish defense and just hammer at it for 3 or 4 points, but that didn't take long. Spearfish gets the side out back, and then we got partially blocked. Spearfish just not as quick as they need to be there, and it's 12-10 Stevens.
Yeah, and the hitters are going to hit, and that is the memo when it comes to number 10 in blue, Brianna Brewer. Even when she does have a block up, she has not a clear shot through the defense. She'll just flat hit through the block. One of the better hitters on this side of the state.
Rapid City Stevens hits it across. There is Yackley with the set. Here is the attack. And this will be a point by Adeline Bowman. It's been a while since we mentioned her with a kill. She gets one right there, the 5'6" junior. And now back to serve. It will be, I believe, Hoffman, but her ponytail's in the way.
I think that's Bowman who just had the kill. But yeah, I'm with you, Cody. It's kind of hard to tell the difference between the two.
An 8 looks like a 3. I'm going to go with that. And that will be a point for Spearfish. Now I can see it's a number 3. That is Adeline Bowman.
As that time on the defensive side, Kraus and Brewer collided to get the dig, and it really didn't give the ball the chance to get back over the net. So communication starting to be a little bit of an issue for Stevens, as well as the service receive, as it's not Zandstra. This time it's Bowman. She is top 3 for Spearfish in aces on the season.
She gets one right there as Spearfish takes the lead back 13-12. I'm going to mark that down as a point of this game of emphasis. And here we go. Keller has it blocked by Rapid City Stevens. And that will be a point for Spearfish. Went out of bounds.
As now the block for Stevens. They're able to get a block set up that time, as they're able to track down that strong side. But again, the block just bounces out of bounds.
14-12 Spearfish up by 2. Here is the set by Reiners over to Keller. Then it goes high up into the rafters, comebacks down. There's Yackley with the dig. Over to Reiners with the set. Keller gets it over, then has to get up to the front row because Stevens is sending it right back at him. Here's Reiners over to Kirk. Stevens to Keller. Keller hits this one long, out of bounds. Point for the Stevens Raiders. It's going to happen sometime tonight where the chant of "Let's play football" is going to start by the Spearfish student section. Stevens Raiders did not win a game in high school football this year. I'm just predicting it. It's going to happen. And this will be a point for the Stevens Raiders as they now tie things up at 14 apiece here in the second set. Another tie. We've been tied at 2s, 9s, and now 14 all. Here is Hoffman. Now Stevens trying to attack. It's dug up nicely there by Spearfish's Bowman. Now Keller taps it across over to the Raiders. And Stevens gets the point down. 15-14. Raiders take back the lead.
As now you see Stevens, they're being the aggressor on offense. Spearfish, unless they see a wide open middle for Stevens, but they're just trying to elect with these tips, and it's making it super easy for Stevens to set up their offense. And Stevens has just been hammering it hard on Spearfish this kind of through the middle of this set.
And I think Kirk went into the net, her back, so that's a couple more points here for Stevens to take the lead 16-14 on the Junix scoreboard.
As now, Spearfish out of a rhythm defensively, as that time Kirk, who leads the team in serve receives, she misjudged the distance on that ball as it lands just inside the end line for an ace. And I think Coach Richards has seen enough and needs to calm her volleyball team down 3, which might be our largest lead. It's the largest lead for Stevens this set, but one of the larger leads this set.
17-14 as we have a look at the Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard in Region 8B tonight. Number 4 seed Timberlake eliminates number 5 seed Newell in a 3-1 match tonight up in Faith. So Timberlake probably will play Faith on Thursday. That Faith McLaughlin match hasn't been turned in yet. Number 2 seed Hardin County, they swept McIntosh 3-0. And the Lemon Cowgirls get by Dupree 3-0, setting up a 2-3 matchup in Buffalo on Thursday night between Hardin County and Lemon.
And we will have that game on KDSJ-TV. We just wanted to make sure both teams that we projected would move on. So we'll have the number 3 seed in Region 8B, the Lemon Cowgirls. They'll go up against the Hardin County Ranchers here on Thursday on KDSJ Radio and on KDSJ-TV.
I know a few people from that little town of Lemon up on the border. As we get back to action here, the Rapid City Stevens Raiders, they send it across, and this will be an ace. As Kirk dug it up, and then it was dead. 18-14, 4-point lead here for Rapid City Stevens. I'll mark that down again. That's 4 straight points for the Raiders. 1 timeout left for the Spartans. Raiders still have both of those. And here is Yackley, gets it across. See if we get some urgency here by the Spartans. It's partially blocked there by Keller and Kirk, but it goes out of bounds. Point for the Raiders.
And now the Raiders are really starting to overload one side of the net, get Spearfish all over to that side to try to dig up the block, but now Stevens, they're able to hit through the block, or they can set over to that weak side of the court.
And we have different camera angles here with KDSJ-TV tonight, so good to check those out, as this will be another point for Stevens, as that one went off part of the rafters up here at the Spearfish High School gym and came back on the side of Spearfish when they had already hit the ball 3 times. 2014, Stevens in control as they get to the final turn of this second set. There's a tremendous block by the Rapid City Stevens Raiders, and I think being involved in that one was Aspen Montague, the setter and right side hitter.
Also the middle hitter that time, Reagan, I cannot see, oh there it is. Reagan Broderick, she was also there on the block as well. She's been relatively quiet, the middle hitter for Stevens, but she came up big in that block there just a moment ago, and now it's 21-14, the biggest lead of the entire match, and Spearfish will use their second timeout.
As we look ahead to the rest of this week on KDSJ Sports, again on the KDSJ YouTube channel and Facebook Live, we will have From the Bench podcast coming up tomorrow morning at 11:15 a.m. Ryan Thompson, the head coach of BHSU men's basketball, will join Clayson Davis for that. Then on Thursday night, we have high school volleyball scheduled up in Buffalo, South Dakota, featuring one of the smaller schools in Region 8B, as Lemon will be at Harding County, and I think that's a 5:30 start. Then Friday night, we have women's college basketball radio only, the Yellow Jackets home opener. Saturday, we go college football, then college men's basketball. And Sunday afternoon, more college men's basketball from Texas. Coming out of the timeout called by Spearfish, their second and final timeout used in this second set. They have a hitting error. Point for the Raiders, as it's an 8-0 run right now by Rapid City Stevens. And Spearfish will hit this one long to make it 23-14 in favor of Stevens. As we mentioned, don't make one thing wrong, compile into 4 points. Well, now it's 9 in a row. And this one hits the top of the net. So a service error by the Rapid City Stevens Raiders. Here's your side out you've been waiting for. Now Yackley goes back to serve for Spearfish.
And now Spearfish, after giving up that 9-0 run, being able to try to refocus, regroup, and try to figure out something offensively.
Here's the dig that time, and then 2 girls run into each other.
I don't think that's how they drew it up, Cody.
Okay. 24-15, Rapid City Stevens with the advantage on a 10-1 run. And this one hits into the net, so back-to-back service errors on Rapid City Stevens. We don't keep track of stats. They do have the stat board lit up here, but nobody's keeping track of stats down at the scorers table. So when we come to our superior performance player of the game, bear with us. Usually we're pretty good on key to what we find out the next day in the Black Hills Pioneer. Point here for the Spearfish Spartans. The student section has been quiet. The parents have been quiet. Now's the time to go on an 8-0 run. Here is the serve by Hoffman. Stevens has it. It's dug up by Spearfish, but nobody there to set it in time, as it'll be a 25-17 final for the Rapid City Stevens Raiders as they take the first 2 sets.
Yeah, and that time the middle hitter, one of the few middle hitters for Stevens, Addison Benson, she hasn't been able to get a hold of any ball set her way, but boy, howdy did she get a hold of that one, set in the middle of the net right to her. Came with authority, and Adeline Bowman, great job to get behind the ball, but it was coming at a rather high rate of speed. She wasn't able to control that dig. And now it is 2-0 Stevens. Spearfish, they haven't came back from a 2-0 deficit yet this season, as They are, I believe, just 1-0 in 5 set games this season, if I do check.
As again, the Rapid City Stevens ended out set 2 on an 11-3 run to get the victory, 25-17. We'll be back in a minute with more action from the Spearfish High School gym in 60 seconds.
Do it yourself made easy with help from Proline Equipment Rentals in Belle Fourche. Whether you're a full-fledged contractor or just taking care of some jobs around your home, Proline has the equipment you need. Lifts for any job, like scissor lifts, boom lifts, and man lifts. Skid steers, trenchers, backhoes, and more. Step inside to find smaller tools for do-it-yourself projects like concrete work, painting, sewer repair, and more. Call 723-7677, click ProlineEquipmentRentals.com, or stop by off North Highway 85 in Belle Fourche today.
Drive it on to victory with the Granite Home Team. At Granite Automotive, making all the right moves and scoring points for a better customer experience is a true team effort. From sales to finance, showroom to service, every Granite Home Team member has a role to play and a job to perform to make sure your next buying experience is your best buying experience. Enthusiastically on your side. Drive Granite. Go team. Go Granite. Buick, Nissan, GMC. Rapid City. Click drivegranite.com.
Back here at the Spearfish High School gym, and we have our Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine broadcast booth set up as Rapid City Stevens Raiders take the first set 25-21. They won the second set 25-17. A lot of errors on Spearfish in that second set, and Rapid City Stevens a little bit faster and a little bit better again as they're up 2-0. And we send it to set 3 here, as the officials will make sure everybody's in the rotation. Out there for Spearfish, we're going to have Yackley, Keller, Bowman, who's been pretty quiet tonight, Reiners, and then Zanstra, Kirk in the back row, and Hoffman in the back row. Zanstra will go out as they'll start with the libero on the floor for Spearfish and Yackley.
Yeah, I just looked at the Spearfish schedule from this season. They're in uncharted territory right now if they want to come back and win this one. Spearfish has yet to win a contest where the opponent has won 2 sets.
Rapid City Stevens at the net. Spearfish greets them with a block. 1-0 Spearfish Spartans as we start set number 3 right here on KDSJ Sports tonight. 980 AM, 103.5 FM. Online with the mobile app, and of course, you can watch the game for free on KDSJ-TV. Here is Reiners. Good knowledge of where she was on the floor and where her teammates are. And then Yackley gets a hand on it, but it goes off because it was hit hard by Rapid City Stevens Raider. That was a nice job by Reiners, not only to get the set, but she literally did it behind her back to know where her teammate was on the floor. Pretty impressive by the, I think she's still a junior. And here is the attack. This one will be in for a point for Stevens. That was with a little bit of authority.
And I do like that set. Sitting the right side, which is the weak side, over to their leading attacker, Adeline Bowman. It's really hard for a setter to set behind her head over to that weak side there on the right side of the court. But Bowman able to just enough of it, find that far corner, and Spearfish not able to use that momentum as they now serve it into the net.
Back here to Stevens to serve is Reagan Broderick, the middle hitter and a sophomore. She has the jump serve, and it's going to go right back to Kirk, and the block by Stevens exactly right on time. That double block on the right side. Good job by the Raiders there as they timed it right off of Kirk hitting it. And now 3-2 Raiders from the back row. They serve it, comes off the top of the net. We play on. Here is Faith Hoffman trying to get it up over the would-be block, and that's a point for Spearfish as we're tied at 3s.
Yeah, Faith Hoffman, she has been able to play that weak side very well this season. Only 5'4", but she's been able to be aggressive and use her athleticism. She can jump out of the gym at 5'4", and that time electing to use a tip and gets it done. And now Spearfish, the service errors continue to pile up.
A couple of the keys were serve, receive. So defense, be scrappy. Well, we've seen Stevens Raiders be faster than Spearfish tonight. And use that home court advantage. It's been quiet here in the building tonight. See if they can reel off some points and make this interesting. It's 4-3. There's a point for Spearfish as the energy level ups a little bit here. And now back to serve will be Faith Hoffman, the defensive specialist and a setter. In that rotation that they go with, she's back there to serve now. She is a junior. There is 2 seniors, 1 sophomore. Everybody else on the varsity roster is a junior. Now, granted, they don't play very many girls off the bench, maybe 1 or 2. This one is hit long and out of bounds. Point for Stevens as they take the lead back now 5-4.
Now Spearfish, the strong side hitting for Spearfish really hasn't worked really the entire night. It's either been long or it's been blocked. So Spearfish, whenever they've set to the middle, they've been able to have some sort of success whenever that'd be a quick set or even just a simple tip as Stevens hits that one into the net, tying this one up at 5 apiece again. But see if Spearfish can switch it up offensively, see if they can set the middle after a great serve that time by Hoffman and just having that ball die right in the middle of the Raider defense. And now Spearfish has a 1-point lead.
We talked about in the pregame show in our countdown to first serve how important this game is for, I would believe, Spearfish more importantly. This is the second to last game of the regular season. They need to win to have a home playoff game probably next week. And such a difference from playing at home than compared to getting on a bus, driving across the state and playing somebody, and you're going to be the underdog. Here is Kirk, sends it over. Nice serve. Rapid City Stevens is able to get it back over in 3. There's the set by Reiners and the attack by Zanstra. It's dug up by Stevens. Here comes the ladies in blue and white. They hit it long, over to the side, out of bounds. Point for Spearfish as they take the lead now 8-5, and that momentum increases a little bit. We get the student section fired up. And here we go with the serve by Kirk. Rapid City Stevens sends it across. Spearfish trying to set up the outside is partially blocked as they've done a great job all night by Rapid City Stevens. Here's Bowman, gets it across. It's dug up by Stevens. They send it across in 2. Now Spearfish, Reiner sets up Zanstra. Back at it, and Zanstra hits it across. And it'll land just in front of the stand. So that'll be a point for Spearfish. Makes it 9-5. We're going to mark that down because there's a timeout on the floor. Advantage Spearfish Spartans 9-5. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back in 30 seconds on KDSJ Sports.
For nearly 50 years, Low Roofing Incorporated has been the trusted name in commercial roofing across western South Dakota and eastern Wyoming. Family owned and operated since 1975, they bring quality craftsmanship and reliable service to every project, big or small. From repairs to new installations, Low Roofing Incorporated covers it all. Protect your business with the experts who care and products that last. Call 1-800-658-4543. Low Roofing Incorporated, building a legacy of trust.
Welcome
one
back to the
roof at a
broadcast
time.
booth, being brought to you by Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, as we go over to Clayson Davis with a quick checkup on the Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard.
Yeah, we have a final over there at Rapid City Christian. It was Rapid City Christian. They were tied up 2 sets apiece with Hot Springs, but it was the Lady Comets all set 5, 15-5 to end the game and the match as Rapid City Christian, they will move on to play number 1 Hill City in the Region 8A tournament.
Back to action here. Spearfish was a 4-point lead, their largest one of the set. Rapid City Stevens a little bit back on their heels now. They're able to send it across. Here is the set by Reiners. The attack by Zanstra. It goes back over to the side. Stevens Raiders, can they get it over? They do in 3. Now here's Spearfish go across court. There's the attack by Bowman. Now Stevens setting it up in the middle. They go with the attack. It's dug up there by Kirk. Back over to Yackley, who sends it across. Rapid City Stevens goes over in 2, now deep into the net. Reiners at a tough position there. She was kind of off balance. Meanwhile, you had all the momentum of the Stevens Raiders blocker. And Stevens with the point, 9-6 Spearfish.
And Stevens did a good job of scouting out Spearfish as Reiners. She's done for that little, almost a hook shot tip quite a few times throughout the season, but hasn't really worked that all that often against Stevens so far tonight.
Here's the attack by Bowman. Gets it across. Rapid City Stevens is there to, well, they did not get it over.
Yeah, as two girls ran into one another, as Molly Fisher into the game ran into number 11, Aspen Montague, the setter, as both just trying to hit it over and ended up hitting each other as the ball fall into the net.
Now back to serve is Zanstra. Tabby gets it across. Now here's Stevens. It's dug up there by Faith Hoffman. Here is Keller, and Keller hits this one long, and a point for Stevens on the hitting error. Still, Spearfish is up 10-7, but you think if Stevens can get a couple going here, that usually gets Spearfish on track. And they go with the block there at the net again. Stevens a little bit quicker on defense. Now here's Bowman. And they're going to go and get it over in 3, does Stevens. Here is the attack. Right back to Spearfish. Reiners. This one goes all the way to the back row. Can hardly catch up here. I don't know what's going on. That was hit 3 times by Rapid City Stevens, and they did not get it over the net. I'll just tell you, it was much easier to watch on KDSJ-TV what was going on there than me trying to analyze it.
You might still be talking about it if you're trying to get every single play that happened during that rally.
11-7, Spearfish up by 4. Now up by 3 as this is an attack and a kill. Avery Cross, a junior, doing a good job there by Stevens. Spearfish has Bowman, Reiners, and Keller on the front row. Here is Reiners with the set. Comes over here to Bowman, and she meant it. That will be a point as Spearfish gets to the 12-point mark first. As it's 12-8 Spearfish. It was 9-5 Spearfish, so they're kind of on pace, keeping it a 3-4 point lead.
It's really the first time we've seen Bowman hit with conviction. She had some hitting errors early in the game, as that one, that looked like her most confident swing on the night.
That is a good one, too, by Addison Keller. She's had some errors, but again, you got to have a quick memory in this sport. All about momentum, and she gets the kill there to make it 13-8, up to a 5-point advantage for the Lady Spartans.
And again, Spearfish in uncharted territory this season for the Lady Spartans. They have yet to win a game where the opponent wins 2 sets. I don't think they've won a game when they've been down 2 sets. So Spearfish trying to go for the reverse sweep here, starting off the final week of the regular season.
That'll be a point for Rapid City Stevens as they send it to the back row. Spearfish could not return it. And it's 13-9, Spearfish up by 4. Now back to serve for the Raiders is Reagan Broderick.
As now the back row really starting to come alive for Stevens in this set, as they've done most of their damage from the back row throughout the entire contest, not letting Spearfish catch up to set up the block.
Over on the Spearfish side, as they send it over to Keller, partially blocked at the net. Stevens keeps it alive. Now the Raiders with the attack. Going down to try to dig it up was Adeline Bowman, but it was a kill by the Stevens Raiders to make it 13-10 as they get within 3.
I think that was Kraus again on the kill. Great job by Kraus, hitting around the block, just sliced right by the left side of the block across the court and finding pay dirt. As Stevens, that's one of their strengths, has been able to see the court and hit with authority.
Now they're within 3 or 2 points, 13-11. As Spearfish will be on the serve receive here. They go over to the side, and no whistle yet, play on. Here comes Stevens on the right-hand side. This will be dug up, but then it goes out of bounds. Again, a little bit faster are the Rapid City Stevens Raiders as they're within 1 now, 13-12 in this third set. They've won the first 2 sets here, and this will be a timeout taken on the floor.
I believe that'd be Spearfish taking a timeout. Yep, it'll be Spearfish taking a timeout. So each team will have 1 timeout apiece, and right around this 12, 13-point mark of the previous 2 sets, that's when Stevens, they really start to get going offensively. Spearfish, they had quite a few mental errors in that last set with service errors, hitting the ball out of bounds. as Stevens, they've been able to capitalize off of Spearfish's mistakes from the service line and on the offensive side in general. And Spearfish, like I keep saying this set, they have yet to win a game when they've been down 2-0, really yet to win a game whenever the opponent has won 2 sets. So Spearfish needing to prove how mental tough they are, as Rapid City Stevens, after talking with head coach Montague, she credits her team for being mentally tough this year. They've been in a lot of dicey situations after winning in 3 sets versus Brookings in the East-West tournament. They won a few 5-setters this season as well. So Rapid City Stevens battle-tested Spearfish. See if they can prove that they're battle-tested as well.
During that East-West Classic, Spearfish had a 19-match winning streak come to an end there when they lost to Watertown on a Friday night here in Spearfish. They would lose to Brandon Valley and Harrisburg the next day, but they had quite the stretch there, about a month and a half, where they did not lose a match, winning 19 in a row as they took care of business throughout the Black Hills Conference. Only loss was to Hill City. Here's the Spartans up by 2, 14-12. Yackley with the dig. Here's Reiners with the set. Who's going to get the attack? Well, it's Kirk just tapping it right over. Now here's Stevens. And there's Kirk with the dig over to Reiners. And now here comes Bowman from the back row. Over to Stevens. The volley goes on. Here's Yackley. Going to go to Kirk, but she hits this one long. Point for Stevens, or did they reverse it?
I believe they caught Stevens with the tip at the net, so a lucky break that time for Spearfish. They'll give the point to the Lady Spartans. Kirk, she's been having a hard day offensively as well, as she's hit quite a few of them long, but that time it might have been helped by the tip, as now we'll have a congregation there at the stand.
15-12. They're going to right now give the point to Spearfish. It's a big difference, 15-12 to 14-13. The appeal by the Stevens head coach Montague. And they're going to say it was tipped by Stevens. So she loses the appeal, and we go on, and it's 15-12 in favor of Spearfish. Now, Yackley as the serve over to Stevens. This one hits the top of the net, and they'll hit it 4 times. Can't do that. Back-to-back points here for the Spearfish Spartans as they lead at 16-12. We go through this set. Spearfish was at 9-5, then 12-8, then 13-12, now 16-12.
And Spearfish need to be able to ride this momentum, as once Spearfish starts building up the miscues, that's when Stevens can really start to take the momentum and run with it. Spearfish, first time really this whole match, they've been able to get momentum and see if they can sustain it.
And here comes Stevens with the attack. It's blocked at the net by Spearfish. And a point here for the Spartans to make it 17-12 as they try to push on here in this third set and not get swept.
Yeah, it's a great job that time by Spearfish. Shelby.
I think we're back, Clayson Davis.
Yes, we are. That was not ideal. Meanwhile, while we're off after a slight technical difficulty with our power, but Stevens, they're starting to get on a run right now as it's 17-15 as now Stevens hits back over to Spearfish. Free ball attempt by Bowman. Now a simple tip try that time by Benson. Spearfish trying to get it back over in 3. Here's Kirk hitting it long. No. They will say, okay, yep, they do say it's long. That's what I thought, as the line judge was shaking her head. I think that meant as a tip, and now it's 17-16. Stevens starting to come back in this match, and now we have a service error that time by number 5, Avery Krause. So she will take a seat into the game for Rapid City Stevens. That is that is Josie Williamson. Haven't called her name yet a lot today. Spearfish up by 2, needing to win this set and the next 2 other sets in order to win this one in 5. As now we have Stevens there from the back row. Great dig that time by Yackley. Now Bowman. Bowman hits this one long again, and we're back to a 1-point ball game. Spearfish having a hard time at getting the ball down offensively, as now back to serve is Brianna Brewer for the Stevens Raiders.
I, meanwhile, will be continuing to work on the Wi-Fi to try and get KDSJ radio back going.
Yeah, that might be handy. As 18-17, again, if you have struggling trying to listen to the game, you can always tell your friends and family. Tune on to KDSJ-TV on YouTube and on Facebook. You can watch the action and also hear Cody and I jabber about the game as well. As it's 18-17, Stevens up 2 sets to none on Spearfish, but Spearfish up by 2. Spearfish has yet to come back from a 2-0 deficit this season, as they're in uncharted territory, seeing if they can continue to build on points, try to take this set, and then hopefully set 4, force a set 5, give them a chance, as both teams pretty much in must-win territory in order to host a SoDak 16 contest. As hit that time, hitting off against the net. That was Sydney Wathen, but it bounces into the field of play for Spearfish, and it's back to a 1-point game. As Macy Davis Libero is back to serve. And Cody Oliver doing work over there with KDSJ Radio after we had a outage in power. And now we'll see if Stevens, they can come back from this 1-point deficit, as both teams really not able to find a rhythm offensively this rally. And now hitting it over for Stevens. That is a number 3. That is Sydney Wathen. And she was able to get it down. We have a tie game again, as Brooklyn Yackley, the libero, not able to dig up that ball. So now it's 19 all. As Davis hits it over with the serve, it's going back to Stevens. Now a tip attempt, that time by Stevens, no good. Now here comes back row for Kirk. Kirk dug up that time by Wathen. Blocked back time by Wathen, and now Stevens in a scramble to get back to the backcourt. It'll just be a free ball over to Spearfish. Spearfish over to Zanstra. Zanstra gets it dug up by Davis. Now both teams just going back and forth this rally, as now heading over that time to Bowman. Bowman hits it over to Wathen. They'll call Wathen with a lift, and after a very long rally, Spearfish will take the point. 22-19. Making sure we're good on KDSJ Radio. Yep, looks like we are. So you're listening to me on KDSJ Radio right now and on KDSJ-TV, as it's 20-19. Spearfish needing to win this third set to force set 4, as Keller from the outside, she gets hers partially blocked, and she'll just tip it over back to Stevens. Stevens, they'll tip it back over themselves. And now Spearfish from the middle, that is Bowman. That's dug up that time by Stevens. Stevens, now a one-timer, block at the net, and Spearfish will take possession. They'll hit it over in 2. Both teams trying to get something set up offensively. Now a cross-court shot by Wathens, dug up by Tabitha Zanstra. Now in the middle, Bowman. Bowman hits it to the back row, dug up that time by Brewer. Now here comes Stevens, a free ball over to Zanstra. Both teams, great rallies. Keller with a tip, cross-court, dug up that time by Wathen. Back row, Brewer, dug up by Kirk. Both teams trying to get something down, but both teams showing how scrappy they are here on the defensive side of the ball. Another dig that time by Zanstra. Tip try that time by Reiners, and it's going to be a lift on Rapid City Stevens. 2 very long rallies showing the heart and determination of both teams, and it's going to be a timeout by Rapid City Stevens. We'll keep it right here on KDSJ Radio and on KDSJ-TV. Again, both teams right in the middle of the pack as far as SoDak 16 standings. Spearfish in that last spot in the 8th hole in order to host a SoDak 16 game, as Rapid City Stevens, they're just behind them 2 spots in the 10th hole. In between places 7th and 12th, there's barely, maybe I'd say a point and a half that's separating all of those teams. So here at the end of the week, really anything could happen. The seventh hole could fall out of hosting a playoff game altogether. Spearfish, again, they're right on the bubble for hosting a game. They're looking to improve their position. And meanwhile, Rapid City Stevens, they have played a harder schedule. But let's see if they're able to pull off the win here against Spearfish, as they see if they can put them in a position to host a SoDak 16 game themselves. As we're out of the timeouts, back to serve for Spearfish. That is number 25, the middle hitter, junior Tabby Zanstra. Leads the team in aces for Spearfish. She'll put a hand into it. Dug up that time by Brewer. Now just a flat-footed shot that time by Waffen. Now here comes Keller. Keller off the block. She gets it partially blocked, but it will roll out of bounds, so that will make it a 22-19 contest in favor of Spearfish. Again, needing to win set 3 to 4, set 4 as they're down 2-0. As we welcome back Cody Oliver back into the Monument Health Orthopedic and Sports Medicine broadcast booth. Cody will be back up and running.
That was easier said than done. Back over to Spearfish. They can dig it up in the back row, and it's 22-20. Spartans still up by 2. I think we're still going there on KDSJ radio. Are we connected over there? Yep. Okay. So, a little power outage. Don't know if we'd blame it on the Russians quite yet, but got it fixed. And 22-20, Spearfish up by 2, and the girl just hit the door and went out to the hallway, and she pops right up there.
You gotta love the effort that time by Stevens. I think that was number 10, Brianna Brewer, a senior for Stevens, showing how much heart she has. Point will go to Spearfish, but yeah, she ran through that door like it wasn't even standing there.
There's the block by Keller. Are they gonna say she went into the net though?
No, they were gonna say it's gonna be a point for Spearfish, and now it's set point.
So 24-20, Spearfish up by 4, and here's Reiners with the serve. Goes over to Stevens. Stevens trying to get back on track here, but it lands in a point for the Stevens Raiders on this set point, makes it 24-21. Another great effort there as we go back to Brianna Brewer. Going for that ball, literally hit the door, swung it open, and then landed out in the hallway. This will be an ace for the Rapid City Stevens Raiders. Back-to-back points. They're now down by 2, set point 24-22.
Yeah, great serving that time by Wathen. As head coach Montague said, she's been absolutely amazing on the defensive side of the ball and from the service line.
Here's the attack by Rapid City Stevens. This one is hit long, so that means a point for Spearfish, and they win the third set 25-22. Spartans win it by 3 points. Looking at the runs there, it was 9-5 Spearfish, 12-8 Spearfish. It was 16-12, 19-17. Then it got close again. Spearfish was up 24-20, and they win it 25-22 in the third set. So we play on to set number 4 tonight here at the Spearfish High School gym. We'll take a 1-minute break and be back with more on KDSJ Sports.
For over 20 years, there's been a better alternative for car repair in Spearfish and the Northern Black Hills. It's Auto Doctor, with their 2 ASC certified mechanics who each have over 40 years of experience and their state-of-the-art facility. They'll treat your vehicle like it's theirs. From mechanical repairs, brakes, alignments, tires, AC work, and more, Auto Doctor also provides advanced diagnostics. From Audis to Volkswagens, if your car is ill, we're the pill. Auto Doctor off Exit 14 Heritage Drive, Spearfish.
The Goldust Casino invites you to try the new menu items now being offered at Maverick Steak and Cocktails. Watch the action as you dine inside the Goldust Casino with tables overlooking the gaming floor. Enjoy over 210 of the newest slot machines and table games in Deadwood. And use your club card for great discounts at the 2 hotels right in the middle of the action. Get reservations today by calling 605-559-1400 or visiting goldustdeadwood.com.
I'm Cody Oliver back with you here on this Tuesday night high school volleyball. Our match of the week featuring the Spearfish Spartans at home against Rapid City Stevens Raiders. Clayson Davis over there on KDSJ-TV as we get going in here to set 4 tonight. Rapid City Stevens won the first set 25-21. They won the second set 25-17. Spearfish wins the third set 25-22. As close as these teams are on paper and with the rankings, Spearfish being number 8 in the state, Stevens 10th. Let's see, Spearfish being 22-8 on the season, Rapid City Stevens 21-13. The two teams have not played each other this year. This is the first and only time they will meet in the regular season. Now, there would be a chance maybe if it was an 8-9 matchup that they would meet in the SoDak 16 next week.
I bet both teams wouldn't really mind that if you have to travel for the SoDak 16 instead of driving anywhere from 6 to 8 hours. Just 45-minute drive down the interstate I-90 might not be too bad of an idea.
So now we go to set 4. Head coach Shelby Richards ran into the locker room and has not come out. And here is the attack by Stevens. Now back over to Keller. And here comes Stevens on the attack on this fourth set. This is the battle of the best of 5 here in this set. Spearfish finds themselves down 2-1. And it will be back to Stevens as they get the first point of this fourth set. Coach Richards is back with us again. And she's over there by the sideline. Neither coach needs a seat here in this game as they pace the sidelines. And here is Spearfish deep into the net. They do get it over, but it goes out of bounds. Makes it 3-0 Rapid City Stevens, running off some points here to start off set 4.
And it all starts from the service line with Aspen Montague, the setter. She's been having a great day from the service line, getting Spearfish out of rhythm with the serve receive. And now great job that time by Addie Bowman to get a kill off the block. Now she'll head to the service line. As you and Spearfish needing to win this set, force set 5. As now Bowman will hit her serve into the net. As it's been the story of miscues for Spearfish. That's set 4. They were down at one point, I believe, like 22-14. It was all based off service errors, hitting errors, and just a lack of communication on the defensive side of the ball. As now we have another hitting error for Avery Kirk, making it a 5-1 game. As Spearfish, when they're getting off to these slow starts, it can take a while for the wheels to get unstuck from the mud and start spinning on hard surface.
Again, one error is turned into 3. Here's Stevens, and that was all offense right there as the Stevens Raiders get it down for the outside, and that will be a hit and a kill to make it 6-1.
That's Avery Krause on the kill, as she's really starting to emerge as an offensive weapon for Stevens. They have her as a defensive specialist. She's not playing just defense here tonight. They'll sit to Kirk. Kirk finds a wall. They'll stay back with Spearfish, down 6-5.
Over on Stevens' side, that would be the right side of the net. They get it over to Yackley. Yackley with the dig. They go over to Keller with the attack. Goes deep into the net for Stevens, and they're unable to get it over. And a point for Spearfish, much needed there to make it 6-2.
And now Yackley, the senior, will go back to serve. As leading the team in aces for Spearfish is Tabitha Zanstra, as she struggled from the service line as well early in the contest. Yackley has really been the spark from behind the service line, as let's see if Spearfish can take advantage of it.
Yackley sets up a little bit different position there on her serves, and then Spearfish able to get a point right there at the net to make it 6-3. And we are in set number 4. And let's see, back to serve again will be Yackley as the libero for Spearfish, wearing the long sleeve maroon shirt with the black long tights. And this is going to be difficult for Spearfish. Oh my goodness, they get it over. Catch that out on KDSJ-TV, because I don't know what I could explain it of. As Spearfish on the attack. Here is Kirk, gets it over, and a point for Spearfish. The Spartan, one of the girls literally put her foot up against the wall on the padded wall to keep that ball alive. I don't know if you can do that, but I guess you can.
They didn't call it illegally, so like you said in volleyball, you got to play it off of where it hits, and great effort that time by Tabitha Zanstra. Again, just bouncing off the wall, using her athleticism to keep the ball in play, and then giving Spearfish the point.
Kirk gets over the net, but it goes out of bounds. Point for Stevens as they take a 7-4 lead. We'll mark that one down as a key moment here in set 4.
As in that strong side hitting for Spearfish, something they've relied on most of the season, as most volleyball teams do. Hasn't had much success versus Stevens. And we'll see if Spearfish can get something else offensively. They've gone to the middle a few times, as well as the weak side. Spearfish hasn't gone back to the weak side after a great dig that time by Adeline Bowman.
Here's Stevens on the attack, trying to get Spearfish off guard. And that one will hit the net up above the regular net. They have a big, heavy net up in the rafters. And it hits that one and then comes down. So a point for Stevens. They're doubling up Spearfish here, 8-4 in this 4th set. Spearfish got to stay away from the errors. And here is Rapid City Stevens. They get it across, but then 2 times by the same person in a row. That is a violation on Spearfish. We go back to Stevens with a 9-4 lead.
Yeah, Spearfish not able to really get any offense going again. Starting to get stuck in the mud a little bit, as passing has been a little bit of an issue for Spearfish this 4th set.
Here is Zanstra. She gets it over. She plays taller than 5'10". As back over to Rapid City Stevens. And this one will go into the net. A point for the Spartans. And they get the service back. And let's see, back to serve will be Faith Hoffman.
Seems like it's been a while since we've called Hoffman's name, as she's been super athletic and has been a great spark for Spearfish, as at that time Rapid City Stevens hits that one too far and out of bounds.
9-6 in favor of Rapid City Stevens as Spearfish playing a little catch-up here in the 4th set. From the middle of the floor goes the serve there by Hoffman. Deep into the net, Stevens able to punch it across. And now here comes Zanstra. She swings. And a point here for Spearfish.
Yes, Zanstra was able to get by the block of the middle hitter that time, Addison Benson, as Benson hits it twice. And now Spearfish slowly starting to crawl their way back out of this hole they got themselves into here in the 4th set.
Spearfish able to get it over there by Kirk. Now here's Stevens on the attack, up over the block of Spearfish. Now here comes Kirk. Kirk gets it across. Here comes Rapid City Stevens, middle of the net. Nice block by Kirk. Stevens, though, able to keep this volley alive. And here is Zanstra. The libero for Stevens with the dig. Now they come back to the right side. Front row gets it over. Now Spearfish with their try by Kirk. Here comes Rapid City Stevens, outside hitter. Nice block by Spearfish, and a point for the Spartans to make it 9-8 as they trail by 1.
Yeah, great job that time by Avery Kirk and Tabby Zanstra, the middle hitter and outside hitter for Spearfish, coming together on that block. As at that time, Stevens went to the weak side, but it did not fool Spearfish. They were ready for it.
Stevens trying to get it over in 3. They do. Spearfish trying to tie this game up. They're down 2-1 as we go here in this 4th set. And Stevens doesn't get back defensively. And a point here for Spearfish as they saw one of the girls kind of off balance. They said, well, we can attack that point of the court, tie things up at 9.
Yeah, not every day you see your libero get a kill, but Brooklyn Yackley there just with the simple tip over, and Stevens out of position to catch up to it.
There's Yackley with the dig. Now comes over to Kirk with the attack. She taps it over. Now to the Stevens side. Right side of the net as they go right to left, and that'll be a point for the ladies in blue and white. The Stevens Raiders pick up a point there to make it 10-9.
Yeah, and we also haven't called Brianna Brewer's name a lot here since really she trucked through the door going out into the hallway there in the 3rd set. As she was there to get the kill. She was the offensive spark for Stevens early in the contest, and they're going to set to her now.
back row. This will be a point for the Rapid City Stevens Raiders as they lead it now 11-9. A 2-point lead as they're trying to finish off Spearfish here in this fourth set. The Spartans are battling though. Another home match for Spearfish Thursday night against Douglas to wrap up the regular season. And then they'll be in the SoDak 16. We won't know where until probably Saturday night. A point here for Spearfish.
And that was Addie Bowman from the back row. Really didn't get much into it. She just hits it flat-footed, but found an open spot there on the far outside corner and able to get it in. And now Spearfish, they have crawled out of this 7-point hole as now they'll fall behind by 2 after a dagger hit that time by the middle hitter Addison Benson, making it a 12-2 game. But Spearfish, again, down as many as I believe 7 points earlier this set. They've just come back to within 2 as both teams keep going back and forth in set 4.
Here's the attack by Rapid City Stevens. Goes over to Spearfish. They're on the left-hand side of the net. There's the attack by Bowman. Now back over to Spearfish. The Spartans get it over in 3. Rapid City Stevens ready with the attack. It's blocked there by Spearfish. Now it'll be going to Reiners to get it across. And they'll let this one go slowly to the front row. Spearfish sends it back over in 2. Here comes Rapid City Stevens. It's a 50-50 ball there first row. And here's the attack. Dug up by Kirk. Goes over to Reiners. Now here's the attack by Bowman, and this will be hit long.
Yeah, Bowman, hard time judging the distance on that kill as she hits it long, but Bowman, once she gets going, she can provide a spark for Spearfish as they are down by 3, again needing to win this set as Kirk not able to receive that serve, and that'll be an ace. And as Coach Richards, she will call a timeout as Spearfish quickly sees themselves fall back behind 4.
And it is action tonight, our high school volleyball match of the week on this Tuesday as we get into the 9 o'clock hour. Thanks for joining us right here on KDSJ 980 AM, 103.5 FM, KDSJ980.com with the Listen Live link, as well as KDSJ mobile app. You can also follow us through YouTube and our KDSJ-TV page there and Facebook Live. As we want to say thanks to Wolf's Plumbing and Heating in Spearfish. Call 605-642-5755 or see more at wolfph.com. Also thanks to Dana Dental Arts, where a beautiful smile is always in style. Well, 14-10, Rapid City Stevens Raiders lead it. They were up 7-4, now 14-10. So Spearfish kind of needs to play 2 points compared to every one that Rapid City Stevens gets to keep them in this match. And back to serve will be Rapid City Stevens. That'll be Brianna Brewer. Spearfish has it on their side. Here's the attack, partially blocked, and goes out of bounds. So point Spartans as the student section rises up. Spartans down by 3, 14-11.
Yeah, like I said at the pregame show, Cody, this feels like a playoff game as student sections, both from Stevens and Spearfish here tonight, and trying to make their presence known as Zanstra hits that one again long as the leading server for Spearfish continues to struggle from the service line.
Can't afford to go point for point with Stevens. You got to outscore them here 2 or 3 to 1 if you want to come back and win this set and or force a set 5. There's a powerful hit by Spearfish. They get the serve back and a point, so now down by 3.
And that's Addie Bowman, outside hitter slash middle hitter. She hits from the middle that time as Bowman doesn't have to hang in the air as long from the middle hitter position, and she's able to hit that one down with authority.
Here's Spearfish on their side. It is attack by Hoffman and a point for the Spartans to make it 15-13.
Hoffman at 5'4". I know we mentioned her height a lot here on KDSJ, but it's just amazing that someone at 5'4" can play the front row and be able to get up above the net and get kills like that in Class AA in the state of South Dakota.
Here's the point for the Rapid City Stevens Raiders as they make it 16-13. We've talked about Avery Kirk throughout the season playing the outside all around. Now she's having to put up the block, her and Keller throughout the night tonight. Now they go to Keller, middle of the floor. Partially blocked and a point for Spearfish, so right on cue. Addie Keller gets the point to make it 16-14. Now is when Spearfish can get up over the hump here, down by 2. They send Bowman back to serve. Here's Spearfish over to Stevens. Stevens gets it across. Keller's there to dig it. Now here is Reiners back over to Keller, and this one will go out of bounds.
As now Spearfish, they were able to get a run going when they hit to their middles with Addie Keller playing middle this rotation, as well as Addie Bowman. I'm surprised to see Spearfish go back to the outside and see if Kirk can get it going.
It's nicely dug up there by the Stevens Raiders. Back over to Spearfish. Spearfish with the set by Reiners. Here it comes. Hoffman, point. Spartans.
Yeah, great job that time by Hoffman playing the weak side on offense. Great set that time by Reiners. Able to get that one back behind her head and up in the air for Hoffman to jump up and spike it down. She finds the near inside corner, and we're back to a 2-point ball game.
Here is Stevens with the dig, now with the attack as they send it over to Spearfish side. And I believe we're going to get called for a lift, and we do. On Spearfish, violation on them. Goes back to Stevens. Coach Richards wants a quick explanation from the official over on the far side of the floor, over by the scores table. Now that'll send the captain over here to the official on the stand to talk things over. So they do get called with the lift. So now Reiners, as a captain, relays the message back over to her coach. And it was still a point for Stevens, 18-15. Raiders up by 3. Now here's Kirk. Middle of the floor. Here's the attack. Now Spearfish back on their heels. We'll see if Stevens can take advantage of it, and they do. As they get the point there in the middle of the floor. Makes it 19-15 Raiders.
Yeah, and back on cue, that's Brianna Brewer, outside hitter. She, I'm assuming, leads the team in kills for Stevens this contest, as she's their primary attacker from the outside. As she attacks from the back row, and whenever Stevens needs a spark defensively, they look for number 10 in blue.
And there's Zanstra. There was Reiners getting it over here for Spearfish. Now here comes the Stevens Raiders. It's dug up there by Yackley. Comes over to Reiners. That gives the opportunity here for Bowman, and it's a point for the Spearfish Spartans. So now it's 19-16. Spartans down by 3, but they're running out of opportunities here, as it'll be Faith Hoffman to serve it in the middle of the floor. It's dug up there by Rapid City Stevens. Then here's going to go to Kirk. She gets it across. Back to Yackley. Then to Reiners. Now to Zanstra. It's dug up by the Stevens Raiders. Stevens gets it over in 2. Here's Reiners. Sending it up for Kirk. Kirk gets this one out of bounds on the far side of the floor, right in front of the Raiders bench. It's now 20-16 Raiders.
Now when Spearfish sits to that strong side, Rapid City Stevens has a block right there waiting for him. As a Spearfish, when they're not able to set to their middles or even get the weak side rolling, they have to set to the strong side, and Stevens is right there, and that's where they want Spearfish to set.
The Raiders get a point here as they hit the 21 mark and getting closer to winning this match. I believe it's 21, maybe just 20.
I believe, yep, there we go. Now it's 21.
There's the serve, it goes long. So a service error on Rapid City Stevens. Spearfish is going to have to reel off some points here, and they send back Avery Kirk to get the job done with the serve.
Yeah, Williamson in for Stevens as well, one of the defensive specialists. So of a smaller, quicker lineup for Stevens on the defensive side of the ball.
Reiners goes to Bowman. Bowman sends it across with authority, and this will be a point for Spearfish as Stevens was unable to return it.
Yeah, Bowman, she goes now from that strong side, and Bowman able just to slam it home with authority. Bowman, her confidence just starts to go up this game. And another service there for Spearfish. I don't think I've seen Spearfish have this hard of a time serving so far this season.
22-18. Spearfish down by 4. Rapid City Stevens trying to get this match done with in 4, but Spearfish says, well, we got a chance here as they get the attack and the kill.
As now it looks like Zanstra, she was going to go back to serve. She will now exit the game. Spearfish will now go with more of a smaller lineup themselves, as coming into the game is number 24, the junior Maya Durdal, 5'5". They use her a lot for serving and also as a defensive specialist.
Now Spearfish has it on their side. They'll go with Keller. She gets it across. Now over to Rapid City Stevens. They go to that outside hitter position up in the rafters. Spearfish will get it across. Good hustle there by Durdal. But Stevens hits it down and gets the kill just as Durdal was out of her position because she had to run across the court. Stevens saw the opening and hit it down for the kill. So makes it now 23-19. Rapid City Stevens getting closer to getting a win here on the road, as we are going to have a timeout called here by the Spearfish Lady Spartans. The officials grant it to them, and we'll be back in 30 seconds with more on KDSJ Sports.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jet Rogers at Peak Family Chiropractic and Sports Performance. We all take different paths in life. That's why we utilize multiple different treatments here at Peak. Our main treatment is our high-level chiropractic adjustment, but we also emphasize the use of cupping, scraping, vibration massage, trigger point therapy, and active care to promote movement, strength, mobility, and most of all, pain relief. Why travel to multiple locations when you can have total wellness under one roof?
Back here on KDSJ
and let's
Sports
get you
tonight.
to your peak.
Thanks for joining us at 980 AM, 103.5 FM, online at KDSJ980.com, as well as with the KDSJ Sports mobile app. We have the coverage on the video side of things through KDSJ-TV, which you can watch for free whenever the Spartans are in action. And this one is hit into the net by the Raiders, come out of the timeout. That is the second and final timeout used by Spearfish. 23-20, Spartans down by 3. If you're going to make a rally, here we go. Reiners with the serve. Now here's Rapid City Stevens, slams it down, and that is a kill to make it 24-20. We set up set point. Match point.
Yeah, that was the middle hitter, Addison Benson. Caught Spearfish off guard as the middle block was not ready for it. And now back to serve is Aspen Montague. See if she can slam the door on the match.
Here's Spearfish. That is going to Bowman. Gets it across. Now here's Rapid City Stevens. A nice dig up there by Kirk. Here's Keller. Partially blocked. Goes out of bounds. Point, Spearfish.
Now back to serve. That is Addie Bowman. And Spearfish needing to be perfect, needing 3 straight points really before they can start to relax, because then you'll have to win by 2.
It's dug up by the libero for Stevens, deep into the net. And point for Rapid City Stevens as they win the set, 25-21, and they win the match 3-1. That was just bad positioning there for the Spearfish Spartans to do anything with it offensively, and Stevens made him pay. Rapid City Stevens with a big win on the road here on this Tuesday night.
Yeah, as that was just a tough play that time by Faith Hoffman, as the ball lands pretty much right beside the net. You couldn't get any closer to the net, and it's really hard for anyone to dig that ball up without getting it into the net pretty much. So a tough break for Hoffman. Spearfish, they had their opportunities, but just too many errors, especially in the second set. Some of your primary attackers for Spearfish with Kirk and Bowman had a hard time there at the net when it comes to hitting errors. And right now, it just overall, Stevens made less mistakes than Spearfish. Therefore, they get a 3-1 win.
Your final here, 25-21, 25-17, 22-25, and 25-21 as the Rapid City Stevens Raiders pick up the Class AA win tonight here at the Spearfish Spartans. Our post-game show is coming up next. Stay tuned. We'll name our player of the game. We have our Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard, a game summary, as well as what else is coming up this week for Sports here on KDSJ. We'll be back in 2 minutes on 980 AM, 103.5 FM, and KDSJ-TV.
This year marks the 50th anniversary of Pillin Optical. Since 1974, Pillin has dedicated its business to serving the community with quality eye care at a great price. The inventory has grown, giving you the widest selection of frames while maintaining the best prices for your family eye care needs. Your family is special, and Pillin Optical wants you to enjoy every minute clearly with them. After all, at Pillin Optical, quality eye care and customer service is the most important thing next to your sight. Pillin Optical, family owned for 50 years, 409 Kansas City Street.
What is it that makes you powerful? It's not only having a voice, but knowing that it's heard loud and clear. We understand knowledge can change your life, and that energy will continue to power it. And because you're part of a Touchstone Energy cooperative, we're always listening. Because you're more than just a customer, you're a member. And what's more powerful than that?
Powder River Energy, serving Northeast Wyoming since 1946.
A lot of land comes with a lot of work. The new Kubota MX Series has a lot to offer, including the versatility to mow, move hay bales, grade roads, and clear brush and snow. An optional spacious cab to keep you comfortable in any conditions. A front-end loader with excellent loader lift capacity, hydrostatic or gear transmission options, and affordably priced. Visit your local Kubota dealer today. See Butte County Equipment, located on U.S. Highway 212, Belle Fourche, or go online to automotivecompanyinc.com.
No matter what life throws in your direction, Dana Dental Arts and Spearfish reminds you to make you and your family's dental health a top priority. Putting off small problems now can lead to big ones later. We are small enough to feel like family, but big enough to bring you the latest technology. Before your lives get too hectic with school, sports, and other extracurricular activities, schedule a comprehensive exam now. We love our patients. Celebrating 50 years of dentistry in Spearfish.
Welcome back to the Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine broadcast booth. I'm Cody Oliver along with Clayson Davis back here at the Spearfish High School gym on this Tuesday night. And as we have a look back at our high school volleyball match of the week, it was Rapid City Stevens Raiders coming on the road and getting the win over Spearfish 3-1. Started off with a 25-21 win in set 1. Then it was 25-17 Raiders in set 2. Spearfish keeps things alive with a 25-22 win in set 3. And then your final 25-21, Rapid City Stevens gets the win there in the fourth set to win the match 3-1. They improve to 22-13 on the season. Spearfish drops to 22-9. And again, this will have playoff implications coming next week as Rapid City Stevens still with a couple more games here in the regular season. Spearfish down to one final game in the regular season campaign. That's going to be Thursday night back here at home against the Douglas Patriots. Clayson Davis will have the Superior Performance Player of the Game tonight. We'll also send it on over to him with our Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard. And do I need to fill time? I do need to fill time. He gives me the nod of the head. Coming up this week on KDSJ Sports, we are just getting started, folks. Over on KDSJ-TV tomorrow, it's From the Bench podcast featuring Ryan Thompson, the head coach of the BHSU men's basketball team, and get behind the scenes of the program as well as him. And Clayson Davis will have that tomorrow morning, 11:15 a.m. on KDSJ-TV through YouTube and Facebook Live. And in case you missed it, you can always go back and watch it, as well as all of our volleyball and high school football games that we've had this fall.
Well, I finally got my poop in a group, so we're ready to go with the post-game show right here on KDSJ. As, pretty much in this contest, it was a game of who made the least amount of mistakes. I know it's a pretty cliche saying in the world of sports, but right now with these two teams so evenly matched as far as record-wise, if you look at the PowerPoint, Spearfish came in the contest 8th, Rapid City Stevens came in at 10th. As Stevens on the outside looking in to host a playoff game, Spearfish came into today being able to host a playoff game, but that will probably change after today's results. But a lot of these teams here toward the middle bottom end of the standings and as far as power points, within a point from one another. So really a lot of volleyball to be played, especially with Rapid City Stevens. They still have 2 more games here this week as they take on Sioux Falls Washington and Sioux Falls Lincoln. Spearfish will host Douglas on Thursday. But a lot of games going on throughout the state. I know we had the 6th and 7th seed teams going up against each other tonight. So that was a game that we could watch as well that could have playoff implications going forward. But right now it was Stevens. As they were able to make the least amount of mistakes. They were aggressive. They were able to find open holes and really come with an attitude and just simply outplay Spearfish in a game where these two teams were so evenly matched.
Kind of took Avery Kirk out of the game at times for the Spearfish Spartans. And let's see, the Spartans lose tonight 3-1. So 1 game left in the regular season. It'll be back here coming up on Thursday night against Douglas. We'll name our player of the game. It's our Superior Performance. And that is being brought to you by Superior Auto Solutions. We'll have more of that in our post-game show coming up next.
Lived here for years, or if you're new to town, everyone wants to know the best place to buy a quality pre-owned car, truck, and SUV, or where to go to have your current ride kept in shape. Brandon Kemp here from Superior Auto Solutions in Spearfish. Need new tires? We got them, all major brands. Your brakes squeaking, or do you just hear something that's not quite right? We can help. Or maybe you're looking to upgrade to something a little more suitable. Well, you came to the right place. Superior Auto Solutions on Colorado Boulevard in Spearfish, or find us online at superiorautost.com.
Jake's Collision Repair has built their reputation by offering the highest quality, guaranteed repairs in the area. Satisfied customers return again and again for everything from collision repair to custom paint, glass and windshield, and the best hail repair in the region. They're preferred by most insurance companies and work with all of them. Jake's Collision Repair of Spearfish and Sturgis. Give them a Google today for the best repair on your vehicle, guaranteed.
At Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, we are here to help you make your comeback. Our team is standing by to diagnose and treat your injury with some of the most advanced treatment options available and same-day appointments. Monument Health practitioners work closely with our therapists and physicians in communities throughout the Black Hills, with locations in Rapid City and Spearfish. Visit monument.health/orthopedics for more information. That's monument.health/orthopedics for more information.
Quality food at a fair price. That's what you expect, and that's what you'll get at the Millstone Family Restaurant in Spearfish. Perfect for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or to grab a bite to eat before or after the game. Choose from daily specials, and a trip to the fresh soup and salad bar is always a hit. Plus, the Millstone can accommodate larger groups, like buses or your next meeting in their private party room. So, if it's just you and a friend or the whole team, get a great meal at a great price. The Millstone Family Restaurant in Spearfish.
American Colloid, a minerals technologies company, is not only part of the community we live in, they are the community. Bentonite clay, mined right here in our own backyard near Belfouche in Colony, Wyoming, provides a contributing factor to this area's economic success. This unique product has a huge range of uses, from the main component in cat litter to health and beauty products, pharmaceuticals, and more. It's all produced right here in all of our community. American Colloid Company, working together, winning together.
For over 10 years, Allied Construction has been a trusted name in the Black Hills, providing top-quality construction services to our local community. We take pride in being a local business with deep roots in the area. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, you can trust us to deliver exceptional results on every project. Our team is dedicated to providing personalized service, ensuring your project gets the attention and expertise it deserves.
Check out their website today. Click alliedconstruction.com or
and back
find
here
them
at the
on
Monument
Facebook.
Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine broadcast booth on this Tuesday night as the Spearfish Spartans fall to the Rapid City Stevens Raiders 3-1, 25-21, 25-17, 25-22. Spearfish got the third set victory, and then Stevens wins it 25-21 to win the match 3-1 in an hour and 19 minutes, as it's time now for our Superior Performance, being brought to you by Superior Auto Solutions. right here in Spearfish. Call 605-642-9111 or see their inventory online at superioroutosd.com. Here's Clayson Davis with tonight's Player of the Game.
Yeah, our first player of the game with the month of November, that will go to Rapid City Stevens outside hitter Brianna Brewer, as she was able to get kills against this Spearfish defense really the entire game, as she was able to find open holes. A senior, one of the few seniors for Rapid City Stevens, as she was able to see the court very well, and when she does come with the kill, she is able to come with authority, as she was hitting from the outside, inside, back row, as Stevens knew she was their leading attacker and wanted to get her involved early and often, and they certainly did. And she was one of the key players in the Stevens win here 3-1 against Spearfish. So I do want to give a big congratulations to our superior performer from Rapid City Stevens, Brianna Brewer, a senior outside hitter for Rapid City Stevens. If you haven't already voted for last month's October superior performer, that voting is up now on our website at KDSJ980.com under the sports tab.
And again, our superior performance tonight being brought to you by Superior Auto Solutions. Spearfish will wrap up the regular season this Thursday night, November 7th, at home against the Douglas Patriots. That matchup will be about a 7 o'clock varsity start, with the preliminary matches beginning at 5 o'clock. And then they'll be playing the waiting game, as they probably won't know till Saturday night where they stand for next week's playoffs. And then the playoffs begin on the one night only SoDak 16 on a Thursday, November 14th. So that's what's coming up here for Spearfish. Rapid City Stevens still has 2 more games this weekend. They'll both be at home over in Rapid City. We'll run down our KDSJ sports broadcast schedule here for the rest of this week when we return after a 1-minute timeout on KDSJ Sports.
You see them everywhere. That's because Heinzerling Concrete of Spearfish is the most trusted name for everything from driveways, sidewalks, decorative stamp patios, and of course, foundations. Heinzerling Concrete is proud to support the activities that help our area youth build their foundation for future success. Whatever the job, Heinzerling Concrete is the name you can trust. Google Heinzerling Concrete in Spearfish or call 210-2320.
Beef Logic Inc. is proud to sponsor South Dakota's high school and collegiate athletes this season as they work alongside their partners at the South Dakota Beef Industry Council to deliver the Build Your Base sports nutrition program at local high schools and colleges around the state and the country. Are you looking for a simple, easy-to-follow program that can help you and your family optimize performance both on and off the field of play? Check out buildyourbase.org and learn why beef continues to be the premier protein for athletic performance and recovery.
Time now for our Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard with a look at some of the results tonight around Class AA for the final week of the regular season, as well as Class A and Class B playoffs. Here's Clayson Davis.
Yeah, time to look at our Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard. Last week of the regular season for Class AA. That's where we'll start off, as right here. You saw on KDSJ-TV and heard on KDSJ Radio and also online with our mobile app and KDSJ980.com. As Rapid City Stevens Raiders pulling off a win over the hometown Spearfish Lady Spartans 3-1. And another game and here in the West River, South Dakota, Douglas, they are currently up 2-1 over Sturgis, the last regular season game for Sturgis this season. Douglas sitting in that 16th spot, just on the bubble for even making the SoDak 16. Also in other action, the 6th team in the PowerPoints, or Sioux Falls Roosevelt, they beat the 7th hole team, Aberdeen Central. So I don't know if that necessarily helps Spearfish or not in the PowerPoints. I think it does. But it was number 6, Sioux Falls Roosevelt, beating number 7, Aberdeen Central, 3-1. Sioux Falls Jefferson, 3rd ranked in the polls. They beat Pierre 3-0. It was Brookings over Yankton, 3-0. Harrisburg, they are proving why they are the best team in the state and honestly one of the best teams in the nation after seeing them play. Number 1 beats number 4, 3-0. They're in Watertown. Harrisburg took set 1 25-9 over the number 4 team in the state. Of course, Harrisburg on a 60, probably over 70 game win streak here in the state of South Dakota, as Harrisburg wins against Watertown 25-9, 27-25, so a close second set, and then the Tigers took care of business 25-15. Also in Class AA action, Brandon Valley took care of Mitchell 3-1. It was O'Gorman over Huron 3-1 as well. Take a look at the Class A, Region 8. Take a look at that tournament as Custer beats Belfouche 3-0. St. Thomas More beats Lee Deadwood, ending the Lady Gold Diggers season 3-0, including a 25-6 game in set 3. It was Rapid City Christian in 5 sets, beating Hot Springs 3-2. As that is a look at Region 8B. Excuse me, 8A. Now looking at Region 8B, as we will be on the road on Thursday, KDSJ Radio and KDSJ-TV, as we will see Harding County take on the Lemmon Cowgirls after Lemmon took care of Dupree earlier today, 3-0. If I can get that pulled up on my scoreboard. Yep, 3-0. It was also Faith taking care of McLawton today as well, by a score of 3-1, 25-6, 25-6, 25-5. Faith Longhorns meant business. Also, it was Newell losing to Timberlake 3-1, and Harding County took care of McIntosh 25-9, 25-8, 25-20. And then finally, let's look at Region 7B to end off the Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard, where Kadoka area took care of Crazy Horse and pretty much a massacre, for lack of better terms, 25-2, 25-3, 25-1. Also in the Class 7B, yeah, it was bad, as Cody gives me the oh gosh look. But also in other scores in the Region 7B, Bennett County beats Phillip 3-0. See what else we have as well with Region 7B. Jones County beats Wall 3-0. Edgemont beats White River 3-0. As that's a look at Region 7B, and end off our Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard.
Thank you so much to Clayson Davis tonight with KDSJ-TV. Join him and Ryan Thompson, the head coach of the BHSU Yellow Jacket men's basketball team, tomorrow at 11:15 a.m. live on KDSJ-TV, on YouTube and Facebook Live, for a conversation with the From the Bench podcast, a weekly show on Wednesdays, and a little bit earlier tomorrow, so Coach Thompson can get ready to head down to Texas. They'll fly down there and play on Saturday afternoon and Sunday afternoon here on KDSJ. In the meantime, we'll also have some high school volleyball action Thursday night from Buffalo, as we feature Class B Region 8 finals with Harding County and Lemmon. On Friday night, we have BHSU women's college basketball, their home opener against Minot State. Saturday afternoon, we have college football. Saturday evening, we have college men's basketball, as Black Hill State will officially tip off the season this Saturday evening down in Texas. And then we'll follow it up with another game Sunday evening with BHSU men's college basketball. In case you missed anything, you can catch all the archives on KDSJ-TV through YouTube, and also vote for your favorite with our superior performer on our KDSJ link there at KDSJ980.com. And more information, from rankings to scoreboards to our broadcast schedule, listen live link. You can get all that on our website, KDSJ980.com. Rapid City Stevens Raiders win it tonight 3-1 over the Spearfish Spartans. And that'll do it for us here at the Spearfish High School gym. Thanks to all of our sponsors making this broadcast possible, as well as other fall sports. Clayson Davis over at KDSJ-TV. Thanks to Mr. Wademan here at Spearfish High School for the setup. And from the Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine broadcast booth, have a great night.